I request our dignitaries to kindly take their seats in the front row as we proceed further with today's program. I am now pleased to invite Shri Pinaki Gupta sir, scientist T and head of Mumbai branch office BIS, to deliver the welcome address and share his thoughts with us. Good morning, all. Uh, I'm really sorry because of my sore throat. I cannot welcome you the way I would have loved to. Nevertheless, it's given me a great pleasure to see that all of you have come here to celebrate the World Consumer Rights Day. So it was on 15th of March, but as is it was a Sunday, we couldn't have this event. Welcome address I would request my colleague Mr. Piyush Vasikar to give. But before that, before calling Piyush on the stage, I would like invigorate with the shloka Astoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Nrityurma Amritangamaya. Standard is like nectar, amrit, and how it is beneficial to the society, to the consumer. That we are going to learn today from our technical experts who are going to delve deeper into it. Now I would like to request Piyush to please welcome in a proper fashion. Thank you. Thanks for coming here.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to present welcome address on your behalf. I feel really honored to extend a warm welcome to dignitaries. Um, Sri Sapnil S. Kothari, President, Council for Fair Business Practice, Professor Dr. Amol Dev Chavan, Dean of Academics and Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai, and our respected Director, Deputy Director General B. Gopinath sir. We are privileged to organize this seminar on the subject strengthening consumer rights through BI standards. a dialogue for safer products. It is both relevant and forward looking as it underscores the critical role of standardization in safeguarding consumer interests. Standards developed and implemented by the Bureau of Indian Standards provide a strong and reliable framework to ensure that products available in the market meet established benchmark of quality, safety, and performance. Through well-defined technical specifications and robust conformity assessments mechanism, BIS not only protects consumer from substandards and unsafe products, but also reinforce trust and confidence in the system. Furthermore, the Bureau of Indian Standards continues to play a proactive and evolving role in aligning Indian standards with international best practices. This not only enhance the global competitiveness of Indian products, but also ensure that domestic consumers benefit from world-class quality and safety standards. The presence of trusted quality marks such as ISI marks, Hallmark, and CIS mark provide consumer with a sense of assurance and confidence. These marks are not merely symbols, they represent a commitment to quality and safety. As we reflect on the significance of this occasion, it is equally important to recognize that awareness and education are the cornerstones of effective consumer protection. An informed consumer is empowered to make judicious decisions, to question unfair practices, and to assert his or her right with confidence and clarity. In this regard, continuous effort towards consumer awareness remain essential. In conclusion, I once again extend my sincere and heartfelt welcome to all the dignitaries and participants present here today. Your gracious presence lends significance to this occasion and inspire us to work with renewed commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring words. Your thoughts have set the tone for today's proceedings, and we are confident that the discussions ahead will significantly contribute to our shared vision of building a stronger and brighter nation. It is now my honor to invite Sri V. Gopinath, sir, Deputy Director General, Western Region, to deliver the inaugural address.
First, I would like to welcome Dr. Bhagi from the Council for Fair Business Practices, who could not, who got little delayed due to some personal commitments and traffic. So, welcome, sir. We heartily welcome you for this. Yeah. And we will definitely hear words of wisdom from you. Then Professor Chauhan from the Maharashtra National Law University, my colleagues and friends. So it was it is a yearly celebration which we do on 15th March, commemorating the World Consumer Rights Day. I would not go into detail about the significance of that date because I think maybe the speakers who are to come will elaborate on that in detail. But I would just like to deliberate on the theme which has been fixed for the World Consumer Rights Day, that is assurance of safety to every consumer. We are all sitting here, all consumers of some products or services. And the first right of a consumer, enshrined by the National Consumer Rights Act, is the right for consumers to safe products. And this is where my organization plays a very significant role. We have addressed all sorts of safety issues that can arise through products, whether it is say safety on the electrical side, whether on the mechanical side, whether occupational safety. That also something which we have addressed through various standards. And we have a team of professionals throughout India who are wholeheartedly participating in the formulation of these standards. And let me be very frank with you that Mumbai is an area where most of the manufacturers of safety equipments are built. I think you saw some snippets before this program. One of it was Joseph Leslie Dynamics. I remember because my first innings in Mumbai, this was the company I used to regularly visit, and they were really from our standards formulation committee. There are many other manufacturers also who on safety items with who made presentations. Just imagine if assurance is not there, you will be feeling safe to use any of these electrical gadgets which you are using at your home, whether a mixer grinder or electrical switches and sockets. That we here, that's the most basic thing you are using in your house. The switches, sockets, and plugs. If then assurance of safety is not there, would you be comfortable, confident to use that? This is something which we are providing with our BIS certification mark scheme based on a dynamic standardization process followed in our organization, which ensures that the standards are framed in such a way that they can assure maximum safety to the customers. And our certification scheme has also been designed to ensure two various schemes of inspection and testing to ensure that the product that reaches the end consumer is safe to use. Whether then just imagine you are using a pressure cooker in your house and it does not at 1.1 kg per centimeter square, it does not touch the steam. It gets stuck out. And the other pressure releasing device or the other releasing devices are also not working. The type of accidents that can happen in your home. Considering this, the government of India has made pressure cookers mandatory under BI certification. In fact, one of the first products which was brought under mandatory certification of BIS was the cylinders in which LPG is filled and served to your household. There was a time in late 60s and early 70s when there were a lot of excesses and safe cylinders in which LPG used to be packed. And at that time, the standards for LPG cylinders, valves, and regulators were formulated, and a system for inspection and testing and certification for these products was developed by BIS. And today, I can very confidently say that the LPG cylinders which you are using in your home is absolutely safe to use until unless you go and do foolish things at your home.
is really safe to use. And so this is a role which BIS has been playing, and we will continue to play a much more important role, this role in a much more renewed vigor in the days to come. I hope we will have a very good flow of information today, and that we will go back as a more enlightened people. Thank you very much.
I, right. Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and insightful thoughts. Your thoughts have truly given us to reflect upon us. So, now, before we move forward, it is now my honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed guest of honor, Swapnil S. Kothari, President of Council for Fair Business Practices, whose distinguished career and remarkable contributions reflect his visionary leadership. Swapnil is the founder and managing partner of his law firm, S. Kothari and Company, advocates and solicitors, and practicing in Mumbai since past 23 years. He practices in the corporate sphere, and his clients include major shipping and pharmaceutical companies, international banks, domestic banks, and financial institutions, and other high profile NRIs and individuals. After completing his LLB from Government Law College, he pursued his LLM International and Comparative Law from Georgetown in May 1995 and worked with Slaughter and May, London and Jones Day, Cleveland and Amarchand Mangadas, Mumbai for a couple of years before setting up his office here in Mumbai. Often quoted in the Times of India on seminal legal issues and a panelist on several super time shows on major national channels. He is also on the board of several Fortunes 500 Indian companies. He writes regularly for Business India, having been published earlier on the edit page of the Hindustan Times and Economic Times. Sir, your presence today inspires us all, and we are truly grateful to have you among us. May I now humbly request you to grace this occasion by sharing your valuable thoughts with us.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I think that description should tell you the things that I've been doing, the things that I intend to do, not only myself as a professional lawyer, but also as the president of Council for Fair Business Practices. Uh, as the Council for Fair Business Practices, and I'm not going to be doing a lecturing. I will talk for earlier for about 10, 15 minutes, and then I'd like to open it up for questions and answers because that makes it more interactive. Because what happens is that beyond 10, 15 minutes, the attention span of the audience goes for a toss and they go to sleep. And I don't want to do that. I want people to be more proactive, more reactive. You all can disrupt, disengage, you can do whatever you want. You can even contradict. You don't have to be, I'm the guest of honor as far as this podium is concerned. But other than that, I'm somebody who's open to all sorts of questions. I've had many absurd questions in the future, but those have developed into bigger ideas and greater ideas because as one of the great philosophers had said that every truth begins as a heresy. A heresy means that something which is absolutely a contradiction, controversial, which is against the mores of the society and things like that. So the truth began as that. Now, what is the meaning of Council for Fair Business Practices? So I'll just tell you very briefly. It was started by Tata's, Birlas, Bajaj, Godrej, Mahindras, and all the top industrialists and professionals in 1966 on Gandhi Jayanti Day, which is October 2, to promote fair business practices. These visionaries decided that it's very important for us to set the standard, for us to decide as to you know what is best for society. We should not be hoarding tomatoes and onions, thereby charging exorbitant prices. We should not smuggle gold, and we should abolish octroi. These were some of the three, four things that they started, and they also noticed that there were several things that was going on at that time. It took you about 4 years to get an ambassador car. You had to brag to get a telephone jack in your house, and all those things. So, that is something which today's generation would not even believe it. That you have to bribe someone to get a telephone in their house. We don't need telephones today because of the mobile that we have. So, it's very. But these were visionaries. They saw greatly into the future, and they saw that the consumer is always going to be deprived of uh, not his rights, should I say, but he should be, his rights would be, his or her rights would be more or less depleted to a certain extent because of all the competition, the unfair practices that takes place. And one of the things which would be most important is bad products or unsafe products or inedible products. So they were visionaries, and they decided that we should form this council, uh, not because there was no Netflix at that time, because these people were very sincere, very hardworking, and besides running their own industries, they decided that we have to do something. We have to set an example. We have to set a bar. They, in fact, even wrote the code of conduct for the FICCI, that is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So, and they had people, the likes of Palkhiwala and all of them on their board and the advisory board. And currently, the advisory board consists of some of the top people of the country today. 98% of the team has been brought by me because I am the president since 2018. And my predecessors have been Naval Tata, Harish Mahendra. Harish Mahendra is the father of Anand Mahendra. And, Arvind Mafatlar was the first president of CFBP. And I'll tell you why JRD and Ramakrishna Bajaj and Soli Godrej, the three main founders, invited. And I'll tell you why, the reason why this background is important. And there's a lot of material which my colleague has brought, the executive assistant has brought here. So I can take all the materials. Madhu, you could please share it with them. I think you should just start sharing it because people start looking at it and things like that. Instead of taking my video, you should start sharing that because I'm sure there is a videographer here who's taking our videos. So the thing is that it was uh, I got in the top people since 2018. Harish Mahendra was the president for three consecutive terms from 1977 to 1983. I'm there since 2018 till 2028 and maybe more, which is five consecutive terms. Now, what Mr. Harish Mahendra did was to ensure that we continue the legacy, and he set certain standards. So the reason why I've got some of the best people of the country on my advisory board, including my executive committee invitee group and the social influencer group also, which is of educationists, industrialists, motivational speakers, dermatologists. So I've got in professionals as far as my EC invitee group is concerned, and as far as the advisory board is concerned, these are more the CEOs and the managing directors and stuff like that, people like that. So, other than what we do is we deal with about 200 to 300 complaints during the month, where we look at somebody's refrigerator is not proper, somebody's car is missing something. So we look at defective products. We try to get in touch with the consumer, with the manufacturer, and we tell that person to rectify the defect, and more or less the things do get sorted out. And we also have a mediation cell. Now, one of the important things that we decided is to set up in 1991 or so the Ramakrishna Bajaj Testing Center. That is in SNDT Juhu, which tests products, for some sort of adulteration and things of that nature. So we do an exhaustive study of the product. If something comes to our attention that somebody had told us that this particular product is Amul butter, but it is not the original Amul butter. This is something, there is some fault in it. And so we sort of tested it and we came with our own conclusions and we got in touch with the relevant authorities and things like that. So that is something which we do as far as the basic level is concerned, which is that of testing products, making sure that people get the correct product, like get their air conditioner rectified or their cars properly, sold to them and things like that. At the bigger level, at the grander level, what we do is we have seminars like the Ethics Summit, the Leadership Summit, the Women Empowerment Summit. Now the Jamnalal Bajaj Awards for Fair Business Practices will be awarded in the Indian Merchants Chamber on 24th of March. That is next Tuesday, the coming Tuesday, which will come.
And all our programs are covered in the Economic Times. So you will always see either a pre-event coverage or a post-event coverage, a pre-event ad, depending upon what kind of leverage we want to give. And these are some of the top people who attend our functions, who grace our functions. We've had APJ Abdul Kalam, Manmohan Singh, A.K. Mistry, Arundhati Bhattacharya, all as a chief guest for the Jamnalal Bajaj Award function. So we work very closely with the Tatas, Birlas, Godrej. So they are the ones who sponsor our events. So because they're the ones who founded this organization. Now, with that background in mind, I would like to address you on what is important about the World Consumer Rights Day. Now, when I walked in, I saw the United Nations SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals. Like, what is it? No poverty, zero hunger, climate action, clean water, fresh air, climate action, gender equality, diversity, etc. Now, these are the main goals. The sub goal is the United Nations Guidelines for Consumer Protection that has been formed. Below that, in December 25, the United Nations came out with certain principles for food products safety. How do you determine that the food products are safe? How do you ensure that? You do a risk assessment, you ensure quality control, you ensure that proper action is taken against delinquent people who are dealing in unsafe products. You enlighten the consumers. You tell the people at large, you pass on information. I will tell you something. In the next 10 years, you will notice that information is your biggest weapon. It already is at the moment, but you will see that nothing is more superior to the information. What happens today here at the Bureau of Indian Standards can be known to people across the country or across the globe within 1 hour through WhatsApp, through certain videos, through social media. What is that? That is nothing but information. And how does that enlighten people? That tells people that, okay, there is some organization that takes care of this. There is a seminar that has been organized. There were certain experts who came on the podium who addressed us about these issues. So that is something which you will notice. Now, the United Nations principle, why did they come up with this kind of? Because they realized that food products is very essential. Consumer protection and edible consumption is also one of the most important sustainable development goals of the United Nations. Now, if you don't work in that particular area, how are people going to live and live healthily? Over a period of time, you've noticed that the food standards, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, formed under the Food Safety and Standards Act, has taken credible initiatives, has taken very important, significant steps to ensure that consumers get appropriate food, appropriate products, which line our aisles, whether it's a grocery store, medical store, whatever, so as to ensure that people consume. And one of the things that they organized was Eat Right India. Sahi Bhojan Behtar Jeevan. Now, these were very, very important initiatives that they took. I believe that these are significant initiatives. I think a lot more needs to be done. The FSSAI needs to take care to go to as many, employ as many officers, upright officers, to ensure that certain things, certain delinquencies which go to harm people, you still had water contamination. Certain issues took place in Gandhinagar, Indore. Those things came, water contamination. In fact, I had written an article also on that in the business. Now, you can't have that. If you have a Viksit Bharat by 2047, you are expecting that. You can't have a water contamination in various cities. And Indore, which is supposed to be the cleanest city, possibly. And Gandhinagar, which is the capital of Gujarat, from where two of our top politicians are coming, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. So how can that take place in states like that? It should not be taking place in any state. But what I'm trying to say is that why did it take place? So the whys and the wherefores are the most important. That means there was some lapse, some remiss, some negligence. The Consumer Protection Act 2019, which revamped the Consumer Protection Act 1986, came out with very, very many credible initiatives. I don't want to get into details of that, except to say that the CCPA, which is the Consumer Protection Authority, is vested with several powers, the same as what FSSAI is or the Consumer Food Product Commission in the United States. The same powers to rate people, to impound unsafe products and things like that. So all of those things, the powers, the CCPA is empowered with. Now, other than that, what is it that you do? As consumers, what is it that we do? Isn't it our bounden duty to ensure that to inform the CCPA that we found certain product defective? You can inform Council for Fair Business Practices also, but I think at the same time, the same complaint must go to the authority, which is statutory body. We are not a statutory body. We are a Section 8 company under the Companies Act. So we will do only what we can do. We are more into a directory position. We are not into a mandatory position. We cannot go and rate someone. We can only bring to the attention of the authorities that this is what has happened. Now, other than this, what is more important is the fact that let me give you one example. You will not believe that when products are recalled. Now, for example, BMW sort of thought that the airbags were not proper, so they called up every single BMW owner and said that you please, send your vehicle back to us saying that the airbags are not. Quite a few people did not bother to send. I did not bother to send because I felt that as and when an accident has to happen, I don't want to sort of send my car back. They might do something and they might say that okay, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. So, and anyway, it's an old car, about 10 years old, so I didn't really bother. Tylenol was laced with potassium cyanide. In Chicago, some murders had taken place. This was deliberately done at the manufacturing level by somebody who was possibly, not a psychopath or a sociopath, but somebody who was interested in killing a set of people. 31 million bottles of Tylenol was recalled by the company, manufacturing company, and they were lauded for this initiative by the authorities in the United States, saying that this was a great thing to do. Eventually, they found that most of the bottles were not laced with cyanide and they sent it back. It was obviously it had a high expiry date. You will not believe that in this world, and primarily so in India, 81% of the recalled products are still available online. Now, whose responsibility is it to ensure that these products get off the shelves online as well? The online distributor himself or herself may or may not be guilty. I don't want to comment on that because he may or may not know that this has been banned. 90% of the time, I think he or she would know that this product is a banned product and I'm still trying to make money out of it. Now, the FSSAI needs to take care of that part. The counter body of that is ASCI, which is the Advertising Standards Council of India. That ensures that the advertisement which takes place of all the products is genuine. You can say a puffery to a certain extent that मेरे जैसा product किसी का नहीं है, मेरे जैसा सफेदी कोई shirt पे नहीं आती है. That's puffery. That is not falsity. So nobody can fault you that. I'm not even the Supreme Court of India because I'm allowed to say that I'm one of the best, if not the best. I'm allowed to say that. That's a term, and you people are intelligent enough to determine whether I'm one of the best or if I'm the best and things like that. So that's something which people say. This is not faulty advertising. Faulty advertising labeling is something which is very, very essential. What do you label it as? In the United States, which we Indians also follow, Indian government follows, is that your label has to say certain things very credibly, very clearly, that this product was examined or this product does not promise to do so. This product is this product is that. So your labeling is extremely essential. And the most important part here, which I'm sure the audience will appreciate, is that the label will ensure that the product is proper. And the consumer is aware that whether or not I need to consume this product, depending upon the label. Now, the integrity of the label or the integrity of the people monitoring the label is extremely essential. So, given the social media, given the Google that we have today, we should be able to trust. That is what I would say. In fact, some of the drugstores, the medical drugstores, had expired products. I don't want to get into which expired products were there or which medical stores were there, but very, very well known medical stores had expired products and they had not bothered to check whether these products were expired. Now, generally, the medical practitioners say that, beyond the expiry date, also your crocin is good for 2 weeks or 2 months. The point is not that whether it's good or bad. The point is, why was that product there on the shelf? Full stop. Would it be permissible in the United States? Would it be permissible in the United Kingdom to have these kind of products? In the United Kingdom, when you are in a grocery store and you have buy one, get one bread free, people clearly know that this product has expired yesterday or is expiring today. Because nobody is going to give you another bread loaf free. There is nothing free ever in this world. There is always a catch to that. So the point is that you are aware. It's legally allowed. You can see the rate. The sell by date is there. You want to buy that. You want to freeze it. You want to still take it out, toast it, and you believe that that toasting kills the bacteria. That's fine. You're consuming it. Not an issue. My driver who got me here still has Baudi ka pani in Uttar Pradesh. Can you imagine in this city people having Baudi ka pani? It's very few would be having. I don't know. But it's unthinkable. But people do have it. Now, it could be laced with bacteria. It could not be potable at all. People would compare saying that, okay, the water that we have in our house, which is filtered, is equivalent to that, the Rakshasthal at Mansarovar and the clear river where you can drink water and the other water which you can't even touch. So there is that distinction that they draw. Of course, we are nobody to draw the distinction because that is Lord Shiva who's drawn that distinction as to why that Rakshasthal has to be there and why the Mansarovar has to be there. And of course, people who believe in the occult, people who believe in the mystic, people who really believe in God, people who are Shiv Bhakts, etc., and who go there, they can literally see Shiv ki Akriti swimming in that Mansarovar, which is that beautiful lake, or even the Akriti on the mountains. Now, how far most people have seen, I haven't been there, but I know of people who've seen it. And these are not people who are imagining things, these are the truth. This is the truth. Because ultimately he's resting for since 28,000 years in meditation with Parvati on his lap at the top of Kailash. That's why nobody has been able to, go up to Kailash, except one Buddhist monk who went 1,000 years ago. That's why people have been able to climb the Everest, which is 2,000 meters higher than Kailash. But people who've tried to mount Kailash, they've either grown old, they've died within the next 10 days, or a decade and all that, because the time runs very fast out there. Now, sorry for the digression, but I just wanted to show that the reason why I gave you that example is that the reason why we're not able to go to Kailash is because we are defective products. We have, a lot of impurities in our soul, in our being. That's the reason. So we're not able to do that. Now, the other things that I would want to point out is that the Consumer Protection Authority under the Consumer Protection Act, I think, is trying its best. But from what I understand as the President of Council for Fair Business Practices in my legal practice, is that as consumers, we are not aware unless something, or not really bothered, unless something really affects us. If it's not affecting me, then why should I bother? All it takes is a simple letter to the CCPA or to the FSSAI or to the ASCII or to CFPB, bringing to our attention or to their attention that this particular practice is going on. The world is extremely competitive. The bottom line of every company, mid-size, big-size, conglomerate, small startup, everything is break even or make profit. The visionaries of Council for Fair Business Practices believed in profiting, not profiteering. There is a difference between the two. It was an absurdity, a great irony, that during COVID time, people were not getting their basic salaries, but the pharmaceutical companies were getting high-end bonuses, were paying high-end bonuses. Now that, if people say that's market capitalism, uh, the dictates of the market said that someday the pharmaceutical company was doing very great business and things like that. Now, was COVID deliberately engineered? Because in 2020, 4 years prior to that, Bill Gates had said that something like coronavirus will hit the country, will hit the world. Now, how did he know that? Why was Wuhan destroyed? The laboratories and the people who were manning that vanished. We don't know. It's all speculation. It's called conspiracy theories, but those most of the conspiracy theories, by the way, are true. So, was it human engineered? Was it there to bring down the 6 billion population of the world down to 4 or 5 billion? Was that the idea? Because again, one of the sustainable development goals, the world has to be sustainable. The way we are consuming things, eco-friendly products, those are the products that are now in vogue, although they are a little expensive. In our ethical practices, one of the questions that I asked in my ethical seminar is that is it appropriate to charge high end for eco-friendly products? We charge premium products. We charge premium money for eco-friendly. एक तरफ से आप eco-friendly बोल रहे हैं और एक तरफ से आप high end पैसा charge कर रहे हैं. वैसे क्यों? Handicrafts, handmade handicrafts, shawl, brilliant work. एक तरफ से आप प्रोत्साहन दे रहे हैं सबको कि आप प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसे बनाओ और दूसरी तरफ से इसका हाई एंड सरचार्ज कर रहे हैं और पैसा बना रहे हैं उसके पीछे. वो पैसा अगर आप बना रहे हैं तो वो हैंडीक्राफ्ट मेकर्स को जा रहा है. We don't know about that. So these are all questions which I want you people to think about. I can keep going on and on in this, but this is something which I don't want to deliberate over. I want you people to ask me any questions that you think are relevant. And before I open this up to questions and answers, I want to tell you something. When I had the ethics seminar for the first time, and I invited one of our advisory board members, Mr. Dilip Piramal, who's the chairman, he's still the chairman of VIP Industries, the luggage manufacturer. He called me to his house. He's a very good friend of mine, so I went to his house. He asked me, Swapnil, why are you having this? So I said, CFVP is all about ethics, fair practices. So why not have an ethics seminar? So he said that ethics is the most important thing. उसके बिना तो कोई कंपनी चलती नहीं है, बड़ी कंपनी, और ब्रांड वैल्यू तो उसका खत्म ही हो जाएगा, मार्केट कैप खत्म ही हो जाएगा. तो क्या सिखाना है, क्या बात करना है, क्यों अपने को सेमिनार करना है? ऐसे तो फिर वो स्टैंडर्ड से तो हम लोग अपने बच्चे को भी नहीं बोलेंगे कि आप चोरी मत करो, आप धोआ से खाना मत खाओ, आप स्कूल में क्यों जाते हो, ज्योग्राफी में ऐसे ऐसे कंट्रीज है, क्या सिखाने की जरूरत है? कहीं ना कहीं वो गूगल से पढ़ लेगा या पढ़ लेगी, तो क्या फर्क होता है? So he said, you are a lawyer, आपके पास हर एक चीज का आर्गुमेंट होता है. सर आर्गुमेंट तो होता ही है हमारे पास, मैं आपको एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दे रहा हूँ, आप जैसे अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दे रहे हो. So then that, of course, we had the ethics seminar, we also participated in it. But what I'm trying to say is that ethics is the most important thing. It takes years to build a brand and about 10 minutes to get the brand down in a whiff, in a second. John Keats, Lord George Byron, Lord Alfred Tennyson lived for a long period of time, but Keats, Byron, and Shelley, Shelley, these three died very young, all under 40. One, I think, at 24, one at 36, and one at 38 or something like that. I don't remember the exact ages. They were the greatest romantic poets. And I still remember Lord Byron's quote, and I'll end with that. 1,000 years scarce serve to form a state, an hour may lay it in the dust. Thank you very much, audience. I'm open to questions. Please. Any questions from anyone? Please feel free to ask me, because I wanted it to open it for questions. No questions? Sure, please.
Being in the BIS for the last 20 years,
Right.
one struggle which we face is how to make a consumer aware of quality. Because they always go by the notion that whatever price is cheaper price, cost benefit analysis, everyone does in their mind. And it doesn't come at the cost of quality. So, how to break that notion? We have done n number of efforts multi-pronged approach, still there is something which is amiss.
I think the quality control is something which you can only talk about, which mostly rests with with the manufacturer. Other than that, you should continue to have seminars, leaflets, pamphlets, put up things on your website at the BIS, advertise it in newspapers. When Amul won our Jamnalal Bajaj Awards for fair business practices, they were extremely thrilled. So one of the top executives over there, I said, आप अमूल की जो लेटेस्ट कमेंट लेटेस्ट इवेंट्स होते हैं उसके बारे में वो लड़की के साथ आप लगा देते हैं होर्डिंग्स बहुत ब्रिलियंट रहता है भरत दावलकर डज इट बहुत ब्रिलियंट रहता है इट्स वेरी ब्रिलियंट कोई मर जाता है तो उसके बारे में भी आप अच्छा लिख देते हैं एज एन ओबिचुअरी थिंग आई सेड अगर मैं वो लड़की की एवरेज 10-12 साल की पकड़ता हूँ and today the world is very 14-year-old is quite aware तो आप क्वालिटी एंड एथिक्स के बारे में क्यों बात नहीं करते आपकी एडवर्टाइजमेंट बहुत पॉपुलर है बच्चे पूछेंगे कि एथिक्स क्या है ये क्या लिखा तो that's why we have a students chapter also at CFA because you are attacking or approaching people young so they are aware of the quality. There never is enough. It never is enough. You have to bombard people with information, with leaflets, with seminars, calling experts, taking their time, calling them up, put podcasts. You see podcasts of all sorts. Why not this? Why isn't the government taking this initiative of putting up podcasts? Bureau of Indian Standards agar karte rahega aise podcast, so I'm sure they will over a period of time follow us development. And a lot of people will be made aware of quality. वो एक manufacturers को भी साझा करेगा. It will make them aware also of the fact that look, we are under constant scrutiny. That is very important. And हमारे $1 billion जो हमारी जो brand value है वो हमको हर रोज maintain करनी पड़ेगी. नहीं तो Bureau of Indian Standards आ जाएगा. CFPB आ जाएगा. FSSAI आ जाएगा. वो डर पैदा करना चाहिए. And it's not the question of डर. It's more the question of accountability. That somebody who sits on a position and is making sure is making millions and billions for the company, for the conglomerate, and making sure that each one of us eats his or her products has to be accounted because that is what is quality control all about. Surprise quality control checks at places which are supposed to be gospel and divine. कि यहाँ पे तो गड़बड़ हो ही नहीं सकती कभी तो क्या जाके देख रहा है सॉरी नो वन इज अबव बोर्ड आपको जाके भले आप महीने में 6 बार ना देखो अरे साल में 6 बार ना देखो बट एक बार तो जाके देखिए वहां पे कि सब ठीक ठाक है कि नहीं so that is what my suggestion would be nothing is enough let me tell you that you'll have to keep hammering it only then your PIS will get that value that hallmark that stature that it does have but it needs to have that constant branding since the 8 years that I have been the president of Council for Fair Business Practices, I work on it every day. I spend about 30 minutes every day on the organization. Actually, I spend a little more. But now everything is delegated and everything is smoothly organized. Everything is done very well. We have some of the top people with us, extremely professional people. And because they are professionals. So we ensure that every day CFDP has to be making itself alive and heard in some form or the other. There is some post that takes place on the chat group that we have. And I mean every day, meaning I don't mean every single day, but every third day, second day, fourth day, people are encouraged to put up, their own achievements so that they don't feel that they are the ones, oh, यहाँ पे तो स्वप्निल कोठारी सिर्फ CFPP चला रहा है तो हमारे बारे में हम बात ही नहीं कर सकते. हम अगर कुछ CFPP एरिया करेंगे तो ही हम चैट ग्रुप पे रखेंगे. नहीं, ऐसे नहीं होता है. आपने कुछ अपनी उपलब्धि की है तो आप उसके बारे में भी डालिए. मुझे खाली एक बार बता दीजिए. इसको एक कंटिन्यूम ना कीजिए कि आप सिर्फ अपने बारे में बात लेट अदर्स टॉक अबाउट यू. अगर आप खुद ही बोलते रहेंगे कि मैं शाहरुख खान हूं फिर तेंदुलकर का वैल्यू और बढ़ता है बिकॉज वो कभी नहीं बोलता है कि मैं नंबर 1 हूं. वो बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Let others say that about you. So, I tell all my women, all my men, mostly women, because, it's, uh, 99% of my executive committee is women. So, they have a lot of achievement. There's a lot of things to talk about. So, their personal achievements. So I tell them, just send it to me, I'll put it. So that it should look to the other women that, oh, she's advertising herself. And the president is not telling her anything. Or the president himself is only putting it. And I'll align it in a way where it's important. So quality control, again, is also dependent a lot upon the motivation to have quality control, to put things out of quality. People are not motivated from within. आप सिर्फ कंसर्न्स की बात करोगे कि गुड कंसर्न्स होना चाहिए तो आपको तो ये जमाने में नहीं चलेगा, आपको और मोटिवेशन करना पड़ेगा. Any further questions? Yes.
Maybe my question is not related to concept of experiences, but the problem what I face as a consumer, coming up from you, when if the shopkeeper is providing me their product at the MRP price, then I ask for him ki, what is this you are providing the product at MRP only. But if he reduces the price for me, then it become more difficult for me कि कितना मतलब उसने कितना कम किया, मतलब और कम कर सकता था क्या? तो ऐसा सर कैसे हम तय करें कि जो मुझे प्राइस पे वो दे रहा है प्रोडक्ट, अगर वो कम करके दे रहा है तो भी मेरे को इश्यू है कि कितना कम किया, सही कम किया या नहीं कम किया, और एमआरपी पे दे रहा है तो लगता है क्या बात है, एमआरपी पे क्यों दे रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, अभी देखिए, एमआरपी पे अगर दे रहा है तो वो उसको 20% ऑफ मिलता है जनरली. जो भी प्रोडक्ट सप्लायर होता है उसको 20% ऑफ मिल रहा है, तो वो अपना 20% मार्जिन रखता है. अगर आपको वो 5% बिलो एमआरपी दे रहा है तो अपने 20%, 20% के जो उसका मार्जिन है उसमें से वो खुद घाटा कर रहा है, बिकॉज ही बिलीव्स कि आप घड़ी घड़ी उसके पास आओ. अब मैं मेरी एक बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं जो मेडिकल स्टोर से हमारी सारी दवाइयाँ लेता हूँ, मेरी मेरी मम्मी की, वाइफ की, तो या मेरी बेटी तो पढ़ रही है बाहर गाँव, बट मतलब वट एवर द मेडिसिन दैट वी बाय, तो मैं उसका मार्जिन है 18%, तो मैं उससे 15% डिस्काउंट ले लेता हूँ, तो उसका प्रॉफिट सिर्फ 3% होता है. पर मुझे क्यों देता है 15%? बिकॉज ही डजंट वांट कि उसके बगल में जो मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर है, जो मेडिकल सेलर है, उसके पास मैं ना जाऊं. मैं उसको एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं उसको बोल रहा हूँ तुम 15% मुझे ऑफ दे दो, आई भाई. और मेरी हर रोज हर 2-3 दिन पे कोई ना कोई दवाई चलती रहती है, कोई ना कोई दवाई आती रहती है हमारी मम्मी की, बिकॉज वी बाय इमीडिएटली डिपेंडिंग अपॉन की जरूरत हो एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो यू नोस कि यहाँ से तो मेरा पक्का बिजनेस है. तो आपको वो डाउट ही नहीं करना चाहिए कि आपको कम में क्यों दे रहा है, फिर एमआरपी में क्यों दे रहा है. उसको भी तो बिजनेस चलाना है. इट्स लाइक आस्किंग अ प्रोफेशनल सर्जन कि भाई आप हार्ट सर्जन का 10 लाख रुपया क्यों लेते हो.
नहीं सर, एमआरपी पे कम दे रहा है वो तो अच्छी बात है मेरे लिए, लेकिन ये तय करना कि अभी भी मुझे सही प्राइस पे दे रहा है कि नहीं दे रहा है, क्योंकि हर एक शॉपकीपर सेम प्रोडक्ट को अलग अलग एमआरपी से कम करके दे रहा है, तो मैं अपना तो पैसा
वो अपना मार्जिन देख रहा है, उसको अगर पड़ रहा है कि नहीं मुझे ये आदमी चाहिए, if this person keeps on buying every day, then so I want this person to come to me, अगर वो मेरे पास आएगा तो अच्छा रहेगा. लेकिन एमआरपी से वो कम दे रहा है बिकॉज उसको बिजनेस बढ़ाना है अपना, और एमआरपी इज समथिंग व्हिच इज स्टक बाय द कंपनी कि इतने इससे बिलो नहीं करना चाहिए आपको, ये एमआरपी है.
सर मुझे ऐसा मतलब
और उससे बढ़ाना भी नहीं चाहिए बिकॉज इट्स द मैक्सिमम रिटेल प्राइस, मिनिमम रिटेल प्राइस. बोलिए
सर, मुझे मतलब इन सब चीजों से ऐसा लगने लगा कि जो मैन्युफैक्चरर है वो कुछ भी प्राइस डालते हैं, मतलब क्योंकि बहुत कम कम
नहीं, प्राइस डाल ही नहीं सकते ना, वो तो स्टैंडर्ड है ना, वो कंपनी ने दिया हुआ है. जो मैन्युफैक्चरर है वो कंपनी दे रहा है. बिस्लरी की बोतल 20 रुपए में मिलती है, 10 रुपए में मिलती है, तो वो कंपनी ने फिक्स किया है. अगर उसको 10 रुपए का छोड़ के आपको 8 रुपए में बेचेगा तो उसकी मर्जी है. देन वी कांट फॉल्ट हिम फॉर दैट. 10 रुपए में 11 रुपए में बेचेगा तो प्रॉब्लम है, 10 का 8 में बेचेगा, 9 में बेचेगा, तो आपको क्या लेना देना है उससे. ही वॉन्ट्स यू कि आप घड़ी घड़ी आओ उनके पास, इसलिए वो आपको बिल्ड कर रहा है, आपका बेस बिल्ड कर रहा है, अपना बेस बिल्ड कर रहा है, कस्टमर बेस बिल्ड कर रहा है, which is what our forefathers used to do. हमारे जो एंसेस्टर्स थे, पापा दादा, वो सब ऐसे ही करते थे.
मतलब सर मुझे ज्यादा शॉप एक्सप्लोर करनी पड़ेगी अगर मुझे अपना बेस्ट प्राइस पे कोई प्रोडक्ट लेना है तो.
नहीं, आपको ये सोचना ही नहीं चाहिए ज्यादा. आपको अगर एक अच्छा वैल्यू मिल रहा है, अगर 100 रुपए की चीज आपको 80 रुपए में मिल रही है, 85 रुपए में मिल रहा है, आई थिंक यू शुड नॉट गो बिलो दैट.
थैंक यू सर.
वेलकम. एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? थैंक यू.
Thank Thank you, sir, for reminding us that consumer awareness is the foundation of fair and responsible marketplace, and also reminding us that an informed consumer is an empowered one. Your words have encouraged us to reflect more deeply on the role each of us plays in strengthening this ecosystem. It has truly been an honor to have you among us, sir. And now we are indeed privileged to have with us another distinguished guest of honor, Professor Dr. Amol Dev Chauhan, Dean of Academics and Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Maharashtra National Law University in Mumbai.
Sorry for the interruption. Uh, Kothari Saab has to leave for a meeting immediately. So I will take excuse from my other distinguished speaker. Uh, if you can please arrange for the manager. Sir, has been a privilege to listen to you. We would again like to have an opportunity uh, whenever, depending on your availability, sir.
Get some students home. Why, sir? At least so that the hall is full of built up with students because it's not about the from the business institutes and things like that because if they deliver a lot of information, a lot of value, should they take it back to the curriculum? Okay. So that's one of the things that I would suggest.
So, glad to have you on this.
Right.
पीछे ये भाई ये पीछे आ रहे हैं मैम एक मैम यस लुक सर या वेट
Again, so
मेरा तो मतलब करते हैं
so,
यस या लुक सर थैंक यू
thank you.
हम लोग तो इवेंट वाले बन जाते हैं दोनों भाई इवेंट वाले बन जाते हैं हम्म हाँ हम्म ये सारे और आज भी ना एक सुपना है
We are indeed privileged to have with us another distinguished guest of honor, Professor Dr. Amol Dev Chauhan, Dean of Academics and Director Internal Quality Assurance, Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai, whose presence adds great value to today's meet. Professor Dr. Amol Dev Chauhan is a distinguished legal academic and professor of law at Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai, where he served as the Dean of Academics and Director of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell. With over 15 years of experience in premier legal institutions, he has played a significant role in shaping academic policy and institutional quality. Previously at National Law University and Judicial Academy, NLUJA, Assam, he served as Professor of Law, Director IQAC, Proctor cum Provost, Convener of Examinations and Convener of the Center for Career Counseling and Capacity Building. Dr. Saman is a recognized authority in criminal law, BNS and BNSS, law of torts and prison administration with 40 plus research articles and 50 book chapters published in reputed journals. He has successfully supervised three PhD scholars and currently serves as convener of PhD program at MNLU Mumbai. He holds a PhD degree in law from Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University with research on medical negligence along with LLM, criminal law, LLB, BA social science and a postgraduate diploma in human rights. A sought after resource person, he regularly delivers keynote addresses and lectures at
Thank you, madam. Respected Gopinath sir, respected Pinaki sir, the previous speaker Kothari sir, uh, the Anil sir and Vaslekar sirs and the other member and the other officers of the PSA and the ladies and gentlemen. So the topic which I choose for the today's lecture, that is, I will talk on the more specifically on the consumers law. That is the difference between the consumer law of 1986 and the 2019. So I believe you are the officer or you are the professionals afterward, but you are the consumer first. Our morning start with the आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है क्या, and our so in every day, in every moment, in a one or the other way, we are the consumers. And I believe unless and until we that is educate ourselves, so we will not. That is, I think we are the victims of the so far the corrupt practices or the other practices which is related with the consumers. Because when we talk or when we purchase and when we go with any kind of the product which is available in the market, so we are the victims in a one or the other's way. So I believe if we are vigilant, if we are educated about the consumer rights, then the 50 people or more than 50 people are here. So you will be the grand ambassador for the particular social cause where you will make the aware to the other people also. Now, I will not give any kind of the GAN. I will not give any kind of the other things which is out of the box. I just touch upon this particular basic and the fundamental principles of the consumer law, which was guaranteed, which was interpreted in the 2019 Act. So basically, that is the movement was or the movement is that is Jago Grahak Jago, and the BIS and the other agencies are play a very crucial role in protecting the consumer rights. So the Jago Grahak Jago will start, and it is a kind of the social activity which is made for the development for the purpose of the consumer. I believe that is if we are aware, that is if myself I am aware about the product and the things and the services which which I am consuming and which I am enjoying. So I will give the clear idea and the picture to the other persons what the defective in goods and the deficiency in services is concerned. Now I will take half an hour maximum because I know listening the person it is quite difficult because I have the experience to teach into the university from last 15 years. And after the once I enter into the class or any teacher enter into the class, so the question mark on the face of the students, so it gives us the idea. Yeah, बस कीजिए बहुत हो गया. Now, but I'm not talking about you because you are not the student, you are the professionals. आपके चेहरे कुछ अलग ही बोल रहे हैं. शायद शायद आप सोच रहे होंगे कि इससे पहले ही खत्म कीजिए सर. Anyway, I will try my best to that is go with this particular part. Now coming to the 2019 Act. So far the 2019 Act is concerned, as you know, the first legislation or the first law was introduced in the year of 1986, where there was no law as such. Why there was a need to enact the law in the year of 1986 and it was repealed and it was introduced in the 2019? There is a very big history, as you know. That is when this particular era was started in 1985, where the consumers or the consumer is no way concerned or was not considered by the state that he is the stakeholder of the particular legislative system. But when we come with the so many what we call as the so many advancement, technological advancement, and the other part of the advancement, so the new problems and new challenges came before the this particular consumers and the government forced to make the law in the 1986. If you refer the 1986 and the 2019 as it was observed by the previous speaker, it is a drastic change of the legislation in 2019 and was that is the various regulations which was introduced after 2019 onwards. So the first concept or the earlier concept was what? That is the buyers be aware. I think you heard this particular concept. Buyers be aware. So if I am the buyers, I must be aware what kind of the product or what kind of services I am availing. But now this particular concept is changed. Now the concept is with what we call as the sellers must be aware, the traders must be aware. So why the traders must be aware? Because the 2019 law casts the responsibility onto the particular person who is selling or availing or giving the services and the selling the goods. So of course it is the duty of the consumers ki whenever I am going to purchase the things or I am going to going for any services, I must be aware. But at the very same time, the particular thing is given to the particular trader. The trader must be aware before selling the product. अब प्रॉब्लम ये है, the problem is that हम आज भी माजा के नाम पे मजा पी रहे हैं. हम आज भी माजा के नाम पे मजा पी रहे हैं और टाइड के नाम पे टाइड यूज कर रहे हैं. Why it is happened? Why it is happened? Because there are so many laws, there are so many legislation where we regard the responsibility from one person to another person, but still the consumer is not considered as a main stakeholder so far the product and the other things are concerned. That is, we speak on the various occasions. This particular product is harmful. This is the what we call as the natural product, this product, that product. But how many people are aware about this particular thing? That is, I think the sir raised this particular point. What is the that is how we are supposed to make the awareness among to the consumers? Jago grahak jago. So, and I think one of the participant asked the question that is, if suppose I am getting the particular things on a very less price, so what should I do or what will be the impact of that particular thing? Now I must tell you, when the particular person, I just ask you the very small questions. Whenever you purchase anything, can you see the price, the expiry, the content, the manufacturing, or the other kind of the things? Or our maximum product is based upon and which is inspired on the WhatsApp University, the Instagram University, the Facebook University, or the other social media platform where we consume the particular goods. So the answer is yours. Suppose, for example, there is an advertise which is pop up onto that particular screen of your mobile or in your phone or on the TV. So that particular product we will purchase or our family members purchase basing on that. So is this particular law is made for that? That is, it is whether it is a kind of the jago grahak jago or it is a misleading advertisement where the particular person is a victim. So considering that, I just focus on to the legislative provisions. What is the legislative provisions and how this particular law is more effective so far the new era is concerned. Now coming to the why this 1986 and it was changed into the 2019, there are few basic reasons are there. First, e-filing of complaints, e-commerce restrictions on the misleading advertisement. After 2000, please make me correct. After 2000, where we enter into the era of internet and the online platform. So 2000 is a very long period. I must say that is 2012 onwards or 2015 onwards when we have the so many platform and so many that is a digital platform available for the purpose of selling and purchasing the goods. So this particular the 1986 law was not addressed to the e-filing or the product which is sell on the online. The reason is very simple, because in 1986 there was no technological advancement, there was no internet, there was no platform which is available for the selling and buying the goods. Now, this particular law 2019 protect the interest of the consumers who buy the goods from the online platform or who sell the goods into the, at the online platform. At the very same time, now these particular courts are working into the e-form, where you need not to go to the court of law for filing the cases. That is, you are allowed to file a case on the on that particular portal. I will share you the that particular website where you can file the complaint to the that particular product which you are consuming, which you found that is the product is a defective or there is a deficiency in services. Now coming to the 2009, where it provides the claim of damages. Damages means compensation in terms of money. Whatever the product you are consuming, whatever the things you are enjoying as a part of the services, so that if suppose there is a defect in the goods or the deficiency in service, in that circumstances, any person has a right to knock the door of court, including the consumer forums, where you will get the damages compensation in terms of money. Now cases will be disposed of within 3 months. I must be honest with the office, that is BIS office, because we are working in the same building. So the dispute is supposed to be disposed of within 3 months, but that is not the true case. The court will take the time to decide the particular case. तारीख पे तारीख आज भी चलता है. Now the reason is because this particular I must thankful to the central government on this, of course the state government. From last few years, the government is very much serious about the consumer forums, and they are appointing the members and they are appointing to the people for the continuous disposal of the cases, where these particular courts are trying hard to dispose of the particular cases. But yes, in so many cases, you will find that your consumer dispute will be redressed within 3 months. And there is no need, there is no necessity to engage the lawyers and give the that is thousands and lakhs of rupees as a part of the fee, where any individual can knock the door of that particular court. Now, deficiency service or the defect in goods so far is concerned, where this particular consumer forum has a power to go with the defect in the goods and deficiency in services, where it protect the rights of the various rights of the consumers. Now, coming to the rights, whether the consumers are this particular law provide the safety to the consumers. Do you believe that the consumers are safe so far the services and products are concerned? ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है आपसे. Do you think that you are safe into the digital or into the era where you are consuming the goods? No, of course not. Suppose, for example, I have that idiot box with me, this phone. Do you think that it is not causing your privacy? It is. It is that the particular where see what is the difference between that is whenever we purchase any phone or anything. So if suppose I install the TV in my bedroom, so that TV is listening the communications between husband and wife, and it is stored at the particular at the particular place. Whatever the phone I am carrying with and I am using that particular phone, everything is listened by that particular back of that particular system. And do you believe that the once we deleted the videos or audios or the photos is always deleted? It is not. So in that circumstances, in the era of the digitalization, whether our consumers are very safe. See, we are only talking about the consumers who are buying the goods from the shop. That is maybe the edible products or the any other product. But this particular challenges which is threatened to the society, where the particular person is not safe, where the what the Consumer Protection Act says, it is the safe life to for the provide for the that is which is not cause hazardous to the hazardous goods हमें provide नहीं करना चाहिए, and the particular goods must be a safety to the particular persons. But in fact, there is no safety at all. Whatever we are consuming, whatever we are using, whatever we are that is transferring from one person to another person as a within the bracket of the goods or the services, it is not the same. Now this 2019 Act provides the mechanism to provide the safety to the every individuals and every consumers. Now the time will come, you may remember me, because now in 2060, 2026, we are struggling with the particular categories of the goods where we are finding the deficiency in service and defect into the goods. But the time will come where this particular deficiency in the particular service or the defect in goods, where it cannot be identified by the particular forums and the people because of the use of science and technology. Now coming to the particular person must be informed about the quality, quantity, standard, purity, and the other form of the price and other things. So really we are informed when we are purchasing the goods. Really we are informed to purchase the goods.
Yes and no. For there are few things that we are informed, few
Yes,
things we are not. So it's yes
we are,
and
we are
no.
informed. We are informed. We are informed. Whether we are informed wrongly.
That's the question. Whether we are informed enough, we are.
Suppose for example, there is a say, there is an advertisement. Sensodyne काम करता है. I'm not against any company or anything. I'm just giving the example. Sensodyne काम करता है. And I talk with the dentist. He says that the oral your health is nothing doing with your paste. It is the toothbrush which what kind of the toothbrush you are using. You are getting my point. What I am going to say you. That is information which is passes to us as a consumer. Sometimes that particular information is misleading. Sometimes that information is a false. Sometimes that particular information did not clear about the particular product, what kind of the product is they are selling. Say for example, there is an advertisement of the Budweiser. You know Budweiser is a beer brand, but what they are selling the water. Where the Budweiser is, that is Budweiser drinking water, or there is a old Smith or Oak Smith like that, the kind of the product which is. Whether these particular persons are giving the information which is true in nature, that is the biggest challenge before us. Now, what our children, what our family, whatever the other persons into the society are inspired, the information and that particular information which is forwarded to us by way of the any particular what we call as the means of communication. It may be from WhatsApp or the Telegram or any other means of communication where the information is not properly communicated or served to the person. But it is the aim of that particular consumer. Now, whether we have the choice, it is the right of the consumer. Whether we have the choice, whether we have choice or not.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we have. We have choice. Suppose for example, I went to their shop. ठीक है, मैंने बोला कि XYZ मुझे एक चीज चाहिए. शॉपकीपर बोलता है कि सर ये 50 रुपए की, मेरे पास 40 में सेम कंटेंट, सेम क्वालिटी, सेम सब कुछ, सिर्फ कंपनी का नाम अलग है. Whether we have the choice.
Just say yes or no.
Choice, हमारी जो choice है, that choice is manipulated by the someone else, where we are forced to buy the goods. I may be wrong. Where we are forced to buy the goods. जैसे घर से मैं निकला था, एप्पल का मोबाइल ले ले, मुझे इम्प्रेस करना था लोगों को. When I went to the shop, he convinced me to purchase the Samsung mobile. Why it is so? Because our what we call as our choice is based upon the manufacturer. Our choice is based upon the seller. Our choice is based upon the service provider. So whenever the Consumer Protection Act provides the mechanism where the particular consumer will work on his or her choice. Now the next, that is there is assurance and there is a redressal to get the redressal from the appropriate forum, where we have the district, state, and the national forum, where we get the appropriate remedy from this particular forum. Now, these are the reasons why this particular law was changed. Not going in detail. I just move on to this. That is the next part. This is only the GAN जो आपके पास ऑलरेडी है. Now, coming to the section 29 of the Consumer Protection Act, so that this particular act provides the right to safety to the every consumers, where the particular consumers will feel safe with, by this particular law. Right to inform every consumer, it is the right of the consumer that he must be informed about what kind of the services or what kind of the product he is enjoying. अब यहाँ पे इंफॉर्मेशन देना किसका काम है? Who will give the information about the particular thing? Manufacturer. कैसे देता है? Suppose for example you are purchasing a medicine. That manufacturer will one leaflet, छोटा सा एक leaflet, where this particular what we call as the fonts are is very small. आपको वो लेके देखना पड़ेगा. And he give the information to you. इसका how to use, what to use, where to use, ये सारी चीजें उसमें है. इसका effect, side effect, everything. Whether that is the information. Yeah, please. There is a LIC. In person is from the LIC. Okay, then I am safe. तो LIC से जिंदगी के बाद भी, जिंदगी के साथ भी, and जिंदगी there is no fault at the law. There is a fault at the particular person who is not convinced कि this is my right. ये मुझे पता नहीं. जैसे प्राइस के बारे में आपने बोला था कि जैसे सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल कोई चीज, सपोज आप देखिए जितने भी बड़े बड़े ब्रांड्स हैं दे नेवर चेंज द प्राइस. कोलगेट आपको ऑल ओवर इंडिया एक ही मिलेगा. अमूल का मिलेगा छोटा मोटा 1 या 2 रुपए का, स्टेट का जीएसटी का फर्क रहेगा उतना ही. बट इफ सपोज you purchase the standard product from the particular shop, so there is no change into the price, because price is decided by company and there is a regulatory authorities. बट वेयर आई एम फोर, जैसे क्रैक जैक नाम का बिस्किट आपने खाया होगा, अब तो शायद बड़े ड्राई फ्रूट्स वाले खाते होंगे. क्रैक जैक आता है या पार्ले जी आता है, वेयर द पार्ले जी सेल एज एन पार्लो जी, या फिर फेयर एंड लवली सेल एज एन फॉरएवर लवली. So if suppose I am going to the particular place to purchase the goods, where my informed consent was taken by that particular person by showing me कि आप ये मत लीजिए, ये लीजिए, आपको इसमें इतना फायदा है. Now the Indian people, including me, we all are concerned with the money when it comes to our life. जहां पे हमारे बेनिफिट की बात आती है वहां पे हम पैसे देंगे। से फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे मुझे बिस्किट का पैकेट अगर खरीदना है तो मैं देखूंगा 4 रुपए का पैकेट 3 रुपए में कहाँ मिल रहा है, ठीक है। लेकिन वही अगर मैं मल्टीप्लेक्स में अगर मेरे दोस्त के साथ में जब मैं पिज्जा के इस पे, क्योंकि पिज्जा खाना इज अ प्राइड ना, मुझे तो शो करना है कि डोमिनोज में बैठा है भाई और डोमिनोज का पिज्जा खा रहा है, वेदर यू विल मेक द बार्गेनिंग देयर। ये सारी बकवास बातें हैं कि हमें लूट रहे हैं, ये हम लूटने जा रहे हैं, हम लूट नहीं रहे, हम खुद लूट रहे हैं। सो व्हाट वी सी, सेल, सेल देखते हैं ना, सेल 50%, 30%, अमेजोन पे भी चलेगा अभी। व्हाई वी अट्रैक्ट टुवर्ड द सेल? ठीक है, चॉइस किसका है? Mine. That is my choice. It is I am the consumer where I will make the choice. That is my choice. क्या लेना है क्या नहीं लेना है ये मेरा choice रहेगा. No one will force me to choose. अब यहाँ पे there are so many factors. अब price में आप जाएंगे, अगर आप छोटे मोटे गांव बस्ती में अगर जाएंगे, अब मुझे बात बताइए, suppose for example the one person who is earning 500 rupees in a day where he is supposed to survive the 5% into the home or family, तो वो 500 रुपए का पिज्जा खाने जाएगा नहीं। वो क्या देखेगा? वो देखेगा कि ब्रेड अगर कल एक्सपायरी हो रहा है तो आज मैं उसको अगर 50% में अगर ले सक रहा हूँ तो आई एम सेविंग माय मनी। सी, that is the choice is not with the that particular person who is selling or manufacturing the goods. Choice is with the particular consumer who is consuming the goods. Now the right to hurt आपको सुना जाएगा एज अ कंज्यूमर कोर्ट में, कैसे कर पता नहीं। Right to seek the redressal, you have the right to go to the court, and there is a right to awareness that BSI is that's doing the BIS is doing the wonderful job, and there are so many other people are doing their job to make the awareness among to this particular consumer. Now this is the court mechanism where you are supposed to go. There we have the mechanism to district forum, state forum, national forum, and the Supreme Court of India, where you have a right to knock the door of court. There is no necessity, there is no need to engage the lawyers. As a person, you may go and you may ask any kind of the remedy from that particular person. I will show you the what are the that is this is the authority. Now who is a consumer? So we all are consumers. Why? Because we buy the goods. But the person does not include the person who obtains such goods for the resale or any commercial purposes is not a consumer. सिंपली मान के चलिए कि आप सुबह से शाम तक जो जो भी चीजें खरीदते हैं, यू आर द कंज्यूमर। पहले हमारे यहाँ पे कहावत थी, दैट इज व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग इन द सेंस ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स, दैट इज सिंग इज अ किंग। फिर सुना होगा, देयर इज अ मूवी आल्सो। नाउ इन अ कंज्यूमर फॉर इन 2026 द बिल इज अ किंग। पहले सिंग इज किंग था, अभी बिल इज किंग है। इसको थोड़ा समझ लीजिए। व्हाई? whenever I purchase any goods or any product from the market, I must purchase the valid bill. If I don't have the bill, so I will not entertain by any other persons or any court. So this particular consumer, आपको consumer होने के लिए सबसे पहले आपको prove करना पड़ेगा कि you are the valid consumers, and the valid consumers का सबसे basic fundamental principle होता है, you must purchase the purchase bill of that particular good or the services which you are hiring. Then only you will entertain by the court of law. Now these are not the consumers. ये सारी तो आपको पता है। आप जो भी बाय करोगे खुद के लिए वो कंज्यूमर है, जो दूसरे के लिए बाय करेगा वो कंज्यूमर नहीं है। Now coming to this particular part, where this district commission has a power. Earlier it is as per the law it is 1 rupees to 1 crore rupees तक का matter आप चला सकते हो district court में, but now it is reduced. Why it is reduced? Because there is a pendency of cases are more. तो ये पेंडेंसी को कम करने के लिए अभी जुरिडिक्शन चेंज हो गया है। इफ प्रोडक्ट वैल्यू और सर्विस वैल्यू इज गो अप टू द 50 lakhs rupees, where you have to file the consumer complaint case to the district forum. If it is a above 50 lakhs to 2 crore rupees product or the services value is there, so you are allowed to case it to the state forum, and above the 2 crore rupees you have to go for the national commission. This is the what we call as a hierarchy of the consumer redressal mechanism, which is provided under the Consumer Protection Act, where this particular persons will knock the door of court. Now कब करना है आपको? District to stay within 45 days. ठीक है, from the date of that is whatever the limitation of file and appeal. जैसे ही डिस्ट्रिक्ट फोरम का आपका डिसीजन होगा 45 डेज के पहले आपने अपील फाइल करना है स्टेट कमीशन में, 30 डेज भी जाएंगे और 30 डेज तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट या नेशनल कमीशन में आप जा सकते हैं. Now other limitations है revision must be filed within 90 days, few within 30 days, and any other application within the 30 days you have to file. Now coming to this particular part, it is very important. Now when we talk about, when I am saying that the consumer getting the consumer redressal is very cheap, or there is no necessity to go for any kind of the legal formalities. If you look into this particular chart, if suppose their value or the service of good is up to the 5 lakhs rupees, so you need not to pay the single penny to the court of law for redressing your, that is the, whatever the remedy you are claiming. So if suppose there is a defect in the product or deficiency in service where the value, that is paid consideration I am talking, आपने जो भी गुड या सर्विस लिया होगा उसका पेड कंसिडरेशन तक है, अगर अप टू 5 लाख रुपीस है, so you need not to pay the single penny to the court of law for filing the case. Your case will be entertained free of cost by the consumer courts. So this on one particular side where this particular law provides the welfare mechanism or the welfare measures to the particular consumer's protection. If it is above 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, you have to pay only 200 rupees, which is less than the one pizza price. And up to 50 lakhs rupees, you have to pay only 1000 rupees. So if you look into the fee structure, so you need not to pay more than 7500, where your paid consideration is more than 10 crore rupees. So this is the what we call as this is the welfare mechanism which is by the consumer protection law. Now, how you are supposed to file, that is prepare the copy of the complaint. Whether it requires the lawyer, no. Whether it requires any kind of the legal opinion, no. So any persons who found that there is a, that is what we call as there is a defect in goods or the deficiency in service, so he will prepare the complaint, and after preparing the complaint, he will file to the appropriate forum. So which is the appropriate forum? We already discussed this. This is the appropriate forum where you will file the case. आपका अगर जितना भी 5 lakhs 50 lakhs रुपीस जैसा भी रहेगा, you have to file the case into the appropriate forum. Now after that, state the particular of the dispute and the relieve the claim. Whatever your dispute you have conveys to the particular what we call as the courts. There is a concept that is called as a party in person. Party in person means where the particular parties who is in person is a sufferer may appear before the district or state or the national forum where they will contest their case before that appropriate forum. And the most important thing is that the Consumer Protection Act 2019 is not bound to follow the rigid procedure of the law. It is the welfare legislation where there is a concept of ADR, that is mediations, alternative dispute resolution mechanism, where this particular taken care by the that particular forum. In every district, there is a district consumer forum, and in the state of Bombay, that is in the city of Bombay, that is Nagpur and Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, there is a state forum where they bench at the Nashik, Kolhapur, Amravati, and the other places. And this is the National Commission is at the Delhi, where you have right to go to the particular forum. And appear person in advocate or agent आप खुद जा सकते हैं, advocate लेके जाइए, नहीं लेके जाएंगे कोई problem नहीं. You may be appear on through the agent also, and file within the 2 years from the date of cause of action. That you have to file the case within 2 years from the date of cause of action. What is that cause of action? जिस दिन आपको पता चलता है कि my goods is defective or services are not proper, from that particular day you have to file the case within 2 years. And after that, of course, the delay is controlled by the court of law, because 2 years is a very long period where the consumer may knock the door of the consumer forums, the appropriate consumer forums, where they will ask for the redressal. Now moving further, what to be included into the complaint, क्या होना चाहिए complaint में, that is whole case, that the material fact must be stated, where, why, what kind of the problem is there. The matter of law is to be started, no matter of law is to be stated. ये भी बोला है कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में कि आपको लॉ कोट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You just simply put what happened with your goods or what happened with your services. ठीक है ना? जैसे आप बहुत बार आप ट्रैवलिंग करते होंगे, सो वेयर यू बुक द पर्टिकुलर होटल्स और द फ्लाइट टिकट्स और व्हाटएवर दैट, बहुत बार आप अभी तो देयर आर द न्यू व्हाट वी कॉल न्यू कांसेप्ट दैट इज डिजिटल अरेस्ट, ये वो छोड़ दीजिए, वो बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है, कभी बात करेंगे. If you booking these particular things through the online or the or that particular mode, so you have to only what is the, you have to only preserve the bills and the payment details where you can put that particular dispute before the court of law. And these are the common things which is supposed to be followed by the that particular person. Now this is important, these are the document which is required to file a case into the consumer for us, that is the complaint. Please keep in your mind, your oral complaint will not be entertained, though the law says the magistrate or the court will entertain the oral complaint, but magistrate or the court, of course, including the consumer forum, will always ask to put into the writing. Affidavit supporting to the complaint, you must be put the affidavit, because आप भी कोर्ट का टाइम बर्बाद कर सकते हैं ना false complaint डाल के, तो you must be put the list of document and the address for written version and the that is whatever the essential and the necessary document you have to file on that. Now, this is the 21 days with the directions to file the written version of within 30 days. Once you file the complaint, so within 30 days, that particular person will ask to file the written complaint, and after completion of 45 days, the particular complaint will be entertained by the court of law. इसीलिए मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बोला था कि आपका कंप्लेंट 3 महीने के अंदर डिस्पोज ऑफ हो जाएगा. How it will be disposed of? Suppose, for example, today I filed the case. Today the court will issue the notice. Within 30 days, that another party has to appear before the court of law, and it will extended up to 45 days. It means within 45 days, that particular must be appear before the that particular court and give the whatever the directions as per the direction of the court of law. He must satisfy to the court, and within 3 months. But it is practically impossible to decide. I'm very honest to say it will take 6 months or 1 year or max to max 2 years. But the main thing is that if suppose from the date of filing your complaint, the particular persons will get the if you are getting the compensation, so it will be with the 12% interest. Say for example, suppose for example you paid 1 lakh rupees as the part of your consideration, and you file a case, and you will getting the 1 lakh rupees back from by the order of court from after 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years. So your 1 lakh rupees will be given by the court of law with 12 to 16% per annum interest, and it is binding on to that particular person. I came to know there are plethora of the cases where the paid consideration is less and the amount which is given by way of the interest is more. So anyway, economically, there is no loss on the part of that particular person. Now, the last part is that the again, if suppose you are did not file the written complaint within the stipulated period, then there is ex parte order, and ex parte order will be taken by the court of law. You please take note of this. There is a concept of e-dakila, e-dakil, dakil, and that is there is a national helpline portal. So what I am telling you, if you are sitting into the house, you are allowed to file the consumer complaint to the on this particular website. What we call as an e-Jagrati. E-Jagrati, if you visit to the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, the website, so there is a special department that is in a consumer Jago Grahak Jago or the consumer department, where you are allowed to file the case onto the in the particular portal. बट इट डजंट मीन दैट वंस यू फाइल द पोर्टल कंप्लेंट एंड आप कभी कोर्ट में गए नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा. वंस यू फाइल द कंप्लेंट, सो यू हैव टू अपीयर बिफोर द पर्टिकुलर कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ. But unless and until, you please remember it, unless and until you file the online complaint, you will not be entertained by the court of. ये भी केस है. आपको क्या करना है, आपको इसमें इंफॉर्मेशन फिल करना है. आफ्टर दैट यू विल the concerned court will take the cognizance and the procedure will be applicable accordingly. Now there is a consumer helpline also which is available with the government Ministry of Consumer Affairs, where the consumers can call the particular helpline and will seek the redress, will seek the informations and the guidelines and some kind of the legal opinion from that particular the helpline, जहाँ पे आपको legally help किया जाएगा कि where you are supposed to approach. ठीक है ना? जैसे साइबर लॉ में सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल द पर्सन, अभी तो बंद कम हो गए थोड़ा सा, दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज that is phone pay or kind of OTP fraud पहले बहुत ज़्यादा होते थे, where we are supposed to give the information to the helpline will provide. On the same line of argument, this particular helpline will give the idea and the what we call as the overall information about the rights of the consumer, the redressal mechanism, and the other things which is equally important for the purpose of the consumers. Okay. So with this, my aim is to what? That is, I am not here to teach you anything. When I get the invitations from the office, I was thinking what suppose I what I supposed to talk before you, because you are all aware about this particular thing. But my aim is to whatever the information if we pass, suppose for example we are here 50 to 60 people, if we pass this information to the common persons, so of course that particular moment, Jago will be more fruitful. So with these particular words, I am thankful very much and I am very thankful to the BIS and their teams who invited me, who gave me an opportunity to talk with you on this particular topic. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing such meaningful perspectives with us. Your words have not only inspired us, but have also urged us to think more deeply about the impact we can create through our actions. It has truly been an honor to have you among us, sir. And now we will proceed with the felicitation of our guest. I would like to call upon our guest of honor, Professor Dr. Amol Dev Chavan, on the dais. May I request Shri Pinaki Gupta sir to felicitate him with shawl, plunger, and moment. I also request Shri Anil Kapri sir to kindly come on the dais.
Sir, yeah, look here. Wait. Thank you. Yes, sir, look here, sir. Thank you.
Standard and some indicator.
If anyone have any questions, they are free to ask Amol sir.
Yes, please, sir.
क्या हुआ क्या हुआ
Getting the bill from online, right? What I heard. Yes, I think.
They are supposed to that we have asking their morning. Now what is happening when they will miss it? And when I left, they will say, okay, we are giving you money back. So I said that I don't need the money. I need that milk in that. So in this case, what can I do?
So far, I understood because we missed the some
Okay,
words.
so let me just explain you once again. I have subscribed milk from Milk Basket.
Okay.
So they are supposed to give the milk morning 6 a.m.
Yes.
Now, what will happen that sometimes or suddenly they will, without any information, they will miss giving it. They will not give. So,
Yes.
so I'll just call them in the customer care that I have not received the milk. Since it is an online subscription, the money get deducted automatically.
Yes. And what they will do, okay, sir, you have not got it, fine, we'll give you the money back. Yes. So I say that I need the milk at 6 a.m. morning because at that time I cannot get it from anywhere else. So I don't need the money. So in this case, what can I do? I mean, yes. So you have three options. Explore. First option, that is you wait another 1 and 2 hours for the next day. That is first option with us. Second option, you take your money back. Third option, you have a right to knock the door of the court because it is a deficiency in service. When you hire or avail any services where it is mentioned that we used to give the whatever the product you are consuming on a particular day and the time, and it is without informations, they are skipping this particular kind of things. So you have a right to knock the door of consumer courts. There is no bar at all. अब ऐसा कोई कंज्यूमर लॉ में ऐसा लिखा नहीं है, प्लीज मेक मी करेक्ट, कि आपने इस चीज छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए जाना नहीं चाहिए. आई जस्ट गिव एन स्मॉल एग्जांपल. I am not recalling that the case name. It is a foreign case where that one person, yes sir, please you sit down please. So one person that is buy some sweets from the sweet mart. तो आपने देखा होगा स्वीट मार्ट का जो बॉक्स होता है इट इज स्टेपल होता है, स्टेपल होता है साइड का जो होता है. अब नहीं आते, पहले होता था, अभी भी कुछ इसमें होता है. So when you open that particular person open that particular sweet box और वो स्टेपलर का जो पिन है उसको हाथ को लग, file a case against to the particular manufacturer. It is a deficiency, it is a defect into the goods. Why it is so? Because they are very vigilant. अब आप बोलेंगे अब इंडिया वाला क्या करता है, अगर उसके मुंह से उसकी उंगली से खून अगर निकले तो मुंह में उंगली डाल देता, पूरा एक ड्रॉप भी उसको वेस्ट नहीं करता, पूरा चूस लेता उसको. But that foreign person went to the court of law. There is another case. This is Dorney versus Stevenson, where that particular woman was consuming the beer. आप तो पीते नहीं होंगे तो आपको पता भी नहीं होगा. बियर नाम का एक प्रोडक्ट आता है मार्केट. तो वो बियर पी रही थी. So when she consumed the beer, so at the bottle that particular bottle there is a dead snail. She found a dead snail. शायद बेचारी वेजिटेरियन रही होगी. She she's suffering from the mental trauma and that particular thing. She suffered a lot. She filed a case. इंडिया वाला क्या करता है, उसी को बोलता है तेरे बियर में ये निकला है, 2 बियर पी ले दे, नहीं तो मैं कोर्ट में जाऊंगा. So this is the way. So Consumer Protection Act, it says about any defect into the goods, any deficiency in service is actionable. So there is no bar as such. हम ये सोचते हैं कि हम 10 रुपए का दूध लिया है, 20 रुपए का लिया है, तो कोर्ट में कौन जाएगा? Need to go because I provide you the mechanism. If you write to the district forum, so but you have to appear. आपने ऐसा नहीं कि आपने लिख दिया वो घर पे लाके आपको दोगे, no, you have to appear. I've seen that the changes into the last 5 to 10 years so far consumer is concerned. There are plethora of the cases which is filed into the state of Maharashtra for the small things. को जाना था, उसने टिकट वो किया, and after that he came to know that particular service which is mentioned into that particular website is not provided. It's a very small thing actually, but he filed the case and he won the case. So the point is that Consumer Protection Act is saying that whenever there is a defect in good or deficiency in service, the person has the right to knock the door of appropriate forum. You have a right, sir. Yes, anybody else? Yes, sir, please.
Sir, what about counterfeit cases? Like I have purchased a product and that company says this is not manufactured by me. Yes.
So this is not manufactured
By the company.
Yes.
So that is a counterfeit case.
Yes.
So in that case, the claim will be on which, like the manufacturer already told this is the counterfeit.
The person who is selling the good is responsible for that. Because suppose for example, please sit down. Suppose for example, I am going to the Raymond shop and I am purchasing that particular goods where it is saying the another company. So the Raymond did not give the permission to that particular person sell the product with my name. So ऐसे circumstances में you have a right to knock the door of consumer court against to the the person who is a seller. पहले क्या होता था सर, buyer's behavior, seller's behavior ये होता था. अभी क्या है, when I am selling the goods, I must be aware what I am going to sell. whatever I am purchasing from that particular XYZ company and whatever I am selling to the consumer, it is my responsibility. I must be aware what kind of goods and what kind of product I am selling. If I am selling false or fabricated or whatever the goods, I will be responsible for that. सो द पर्टिकुलर मैन्युफैक्चरर को कोई रोल नहीं है कि उसने तो मैन्युफैक्चर किया नहीं है. अब इसमें जो बेच रहा है आपका नाम बोल के मुझे, तो आई विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल क्योंकि मैं आपके नाम लेके बेच रहा हूँ. आपका गुडविल में आपको इनकैश कर. सो सी देयर आर सो मेनी प्रोडक्ट व्हिच इज अवेलेबल इनटू द मार्केट व्हिच व्हाट वी कॉल्ड एज अ फैब्रिकेटेड ट्रेडमार्क्स है. कि आप देखिए जैसे रेबन का आप गॉगल यूज करते हैं. व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ रेबन? मे बी 3000 4000 5000 में. लेकिन वही रेबन का गॉगल आपको कोई साइड की दुकान में 500 में भी मिल जाएगा. बट क्वालिटी देन अगेन इट इज माय रिस्पांसिबिलिटी. आई मस्ट बी इन्फॉर्म ना. आई मस्ट बी इन्फॉर्म कि ये क्या प्रोडक्ट मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ, क्या कैसे. यस. इज एनीबॉडी एल्स?
One more question. Sir, please. Is it mandatory that in case there is a concern with any product, shall I directly go to consumer court or first I have to write to the manufacturer? If he does not respond, then only I can go to the.
It is good. It is good if you write to the manufacturer कि भैया ये तुम्हारे साथ हुआ है. I want this. और 99.99% cases में the particular manufacturer or the person will not respond. It is a practice because they are having the what we call as the big billionaire advocates on their panel. So they will not give any kind of the notice to your whatever you say. But it is good to set a notice. If they agree, you are not supposed to go to the consumer forum. But if you go to the consumer forum, then consumer forum will again send the notice. If the complaint is filed against you, you have to answer this. If the case is proved, so I mentioned that if suppose the other party is not appear into the court of law, so there is a provision for ex parte order. So the court will not wait for that. हो सकता है. Yes. Is anybody? Hope so आपका टाइम नहीं है.
नहीं सर, बिल्कुल नहीं सर.
Yes sir, please.
Fact, sir, yes, that consumer act में हुआ
See.
टाइम पे आए.
Yes.
1986 में भी आया था.
Yes.
Consumer Protection Act का पिछला जो version रखे हैं.
Yes.
1986 and now this is 2019 and BIS Act was revised.
Yes.
आपने सर कुछ एग्जांपल्स दिए खास करके फूड आइटम्स. बाजार. Other things also. So general consumer products and food products obviously they occupy the shelves.
Yes.
आपने ये भी बताया कि around 2012-14 के बाद as your personal experience you came to see कि चीजें improve हो रही हैं.
Yes.
या लोग जागरूक हो रहे हैं उस तरह से and they are raising such kind of queries.
Yes.
जो examples आपने दिए. उसमें भी सर अगर फूड की बात करें तो though FSS Act came in 2006, but their regulations started taking shape from 2011 on.
Yes.
तो 12 में जो पैकेजिंग एंड लेबलिंग के पहली बार जब उन्होंने रेगुलेशंस निकाले they played instrumental roles. तो कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में जब कोई क्वेरी अपनी रेज करता है या अपने कोई भी कंप्लेंट होती है तो these must be directly linked with the concerned regulations also.
Yes. Definitely.
Right sir?
Yes. Yes.
In case of any other products also.
Yes.
जैसे फूड के केस में तो ये हो गया. then electronic products के केस में MIT के regulations.
Yes. Yes.
So they must be linked somewhere and that's how these
Yes.
things take their course in.
Yes. Because the Consumer Protection Act is not the only act. See, Consumer Protection Act is provide the mechanism for redressal. Whereas suppose for example there is a medical negligence. Say for example, anybody is doctor here? Good. So if suppose for example there is a medical negligence. Suppose for example left पैर को मेरा गैंग्रीन हुआ है, डॉक्टर ने राइट लेग काट दिया मेरा. हो सर. There are so many cases. एक केस संतरा का केस हुआ था where that particular woman having the fourth child and she went to the government hospital कि मुझे अभी family planning करना है and I am not going to deliver the more child. उन्होंने family planning का operation किया. After 3 months she got again pregnancy. That is the medical negligence. So in that circumstances, the Consumer Protection Act provides you the mechanism how to redress. But the other kind of the other laws will intervene, including BIS and the trademark and the copy, any law, in the torts and the contract and other kind of. I give you the example of the Insurance Act, insurance mostly. So it is based upon the standard contract. how many of we here, how many of we have this life insurance, house insurance, this insurance, vehicle insurance? All of us. So what we usually do whenever any agent comes, so we agent asks, sir, आपकी sign चाहिए आप जब वो कागज देखते हैं तो there are very small letters written down there, it goes and run into the 15 or 20 pages. मेरे पास उतना वक्त भी नहीं है और मैं पढ़ूंगा तो मुझे समझ में भी नहीं आएगा, तो मैं साइन कर देता हूँ. और how many of we, that is when we are using any what we call as any apps or any online portal, हमें कितनी जल्दी होती है आई एक्सेप्ट करने की. वो आता है ना लास्ट में आई एक्सेप्ट इट. अब वो आई एक्सेप्ट हमने कर दिया, इट मींस आई नो एवरीथिंग, ठीक है नहीं? तो दिस पर्टिकुलर जो अभी इंश्योरेंस के क्लेम में इंश्योरेंस आईआरडीए, प्लीज मेक मी करेक्ट, आईआरडीए बोलता है कि मैक्सिमम द पर्सन इज अलाउड टू टेक द 6% रिटर्न इन एनी क्रिमिनल एनी इंश्योरेंस केसेस, मैक्सिमम, ये सॉरी मिनिमम और मैक्सिमम. लेकिन व्हाट द पर्टिकुलर म्यूचुअल फंड सही है which give the 25%, 35, मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप विड्रॉ करो, मेरा खुद का भी म्यूचुअल फंड में बहुत सारा अच्छा है. डोंट बिकॉज अभी ये वार की वजह से इट इज क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट, मैं देख नहीं रहा हूँ उसकी तरफ, दैट इज डिफरेंट स्टोरी. व्हाट इज दिस पर्टिकुलर सर्विस प्रोवाइडर और द प्रोडक्ट जो भी हम लेते हैं, दे आर प्लेइंग विद आवर माइंड, दे आर प्लेइंग विद आवर माइंड, और वो माइंड का गेम जब तक चलेगा तब तक कंज्यूमर विल बी एक्सप्लॉइट. और आप देखिए आपके हमारे घर में जितने भी छोटे बच्चे हैं, जितने भी छोटे बच्चे हैं, व्हाट इज देयर डिमांड नाउअडेज? इफ यू सी देयर डिमांड्स, so 90% demands are inspired onto the WhatsApp website, WhatsApp University, Facebook, Instagram, TV, cartoon, this, that, whatever, what not. So these our consumers are the manufacturer service provider playing with the minds of the particular consumers. आप कोई भी एडवर्टाइज देख लीजिए सर प्लीज.
सर मेरा एक सवाल था कि जैसे अभी कंज्यूमर और हम उपभोक्ता की बात करते हैं, लेकिन जैसे अभी इतने बड़े सिस्टम आपने बताया और सारी चीजें वेबसाइट भी आपने बताया, लेकिन कुछ ऐसे डिपार्टमेंट हैं जिसमें धांधली चल रही है, कंप्लेन करने के बाद भी कुछ नहीं होता. जैसे मैं आपकी एक नजर डालूंगा रेलवे पे, रेलवे का भी सीजन चालू हो रहा है, समर सीजन. रेल नीर जो है 15 रुपीज की है, सबको पता है, तो इसका सारा जो है एड सब कुछ लोगों को बताया जाता है 15 रुपीज में रेल नीर है, लेकिन वो खुले आम पे 20 रुपीज में भी. इसकी बहुत सारे पैसेंजर जो है कंप्लेन भी करते हैं रेल मदद के, ऑनलाइन भी करते हैं, लेकिन उसमें क्या होता है, क्योंकि कंप्लेन जो है रजिस्टर्ड हो जाती है, उसके बाद फिर वो सफर खत्म नहीं होता तब तक उसकी कंप्लेन क्लोज भी हो जाती है, और उसको जो है 20 का ही पानी पीते हुए जाना पड़ता. मेरे जैसे कुछ लोग हैं जो झगड़ा करके 30 रुपए में 2 बॉटल ले लेते हैं, लेकिन बाकी जो है मैं बता दूं आपको 99%, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ 99% की बात कर रहा हूँ, जिनको लूटा जा रहा है एवरी डे, एवरी सेकेंड. और ये एक दो नहीं है, ये करोड़ों की संख्या में. तो इतना बड़ा घपला जो है रेलवे की जानकारी में और सबको जानकारी में चल रहा है, लेकिन वहीं पे हम जो है कंज्यूमर के हक की बात कर रहे हैं, उपभोक्ताओं के हक की बात कर रहे हैं, नंबर भी दिए हैं, कंप्लेंट नंबर दिए, उसके बाद कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा.
सर मैंने एक स्टेटमेंट किया था पहले, हमारे आपने सभी ने सुना होगा, पहले हम बोलते थे सिंग इज किंग, नाउ बिल इज किंग. अब मुझे बताइए 15 रुपए का जो बॉटल है, हाउ मेनी पीपल्स आर टेक द बिल, हाउ मेनी पीपल्स आज दैट पर्टिकुलर फेलो की बिल दे 15 रुपए. आप मान के देखिए सर, वो देगा नहीं आपको, आपको बोलेगा बॉटल मत. ठीक है, पहली बात. दूसरी बात है कि आप कंज्यूमर तभी होते हैं व्हेन यू प्रूव दैट यू आर द कंज्यूमर. आप कंज्यूमर, आप रेलवे में नीर का पानी पिएंगे तो आप तभी प्रूव होंगे व्हेन यू गेट द 15 रुपीज बिल. अगर आप बिल मांगेंगे तो दो चीजें हो सकती है, एक तो वो आपको पानी नहीं देगा या फिर आपको 15 रुपए में ही बॉटल मिलेगा.
सर मैं प्लीज सर, मान लीजिए अगर उसने बिल नहीं दिया लेकिन सामने वाले ने रिकॉर्डिंग कर लिया, वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग सारी चीजें, उस कंडीशन की सिचुएशन में वो क्या क्या बातें कर रहे हैं, क्या चीजें हैं, उन चीजों को रिकॉर्ड करके भी अगर हम कंप्लेन करते हैं, ट्वीट करते हैं, उसके बावजूद भी कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं होती है?
सर दिक्कत ये है, सो फार माय नॉलेज इज कंसर्न, सपोज फॉर जस्ट इमेजिन इट, दैट इज वी आर ट्रैवलिंग इन अ ट्रेन, यू वेदर यू नो मी, आप मुझे जानते हैं, मैं आपको नहीं जानता, हम दोनों एक को दूसरे को नहीं जानते. आई एम कैरिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर ट्रे ऑफ 50 और 20 बॉटल्स विद मी, और मैं आपको बेचे जा रहा हूँ, आपने रिकॉर्डिंग कर लिया सबको. यस, प्लीज कीप इन योर माइंड, इन 2023 वी हैव द न्यू क्रिमिनल लॉज वेयर द डिजिटल एविडेंस इज अ एक्सेप्टेड एविडेंस, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट. बट इट इज क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव इनटू द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ। जैसे आप मान के चलिए कि यू आर फ्रॉम बॉम्बे, यू आर ट्रैवलिंग फ्रॉम बॉम्बे टू पुणे, इन बिटवीन वो बॉटल वाला आपको मिलता है, आप वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं, आप बॉम्बे में आते हैं, आप फाइल केस करते हैं। मैंने बोला है आपको जिसके अगेंस्ट में फाइल करना है उसका तो आपको लगेगा, देना पड़ेगा, कौन है, क्या है, कैसा है। अब आपने रेलवे के अगेंस्ट में बोला तो रेलवे ने बोला कि भैया हम ये बंदे को, हमारे जितने भी रेलवे कर्मचारी उनको बोला है 15 रुपए में ही बेचना है। अब वो अगर बेच रहा है तो दैट पर्सन इज लायबल बिकॉज कंपनी, दैट रेल कंपनी इज नॉट आस्किंग द प्राइस ऑफ 20 रुपीज, रेल कंपनी इज आस्किंग द प्राइस ऑफ 15 रुपीज। नाउ इट इज ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ दैट। सर रेलवे में क्यों जाते हैं आप? मैं आपको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल बताता हूँ। अभी धूपकाला शुरू हो रहा है, शुरू हो गया अभी तो काफी, अभी गर्मी होने लगी। आप है ना थोड़ा बॉम्बे के बाहर जाइए, कोई भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट या छोटे मोटे हेडक्वार्टर्स पे जाइए, आप कोल्ड ड्रिंक की बोतल मांगिए, 20 रुपए की कोल्ड ड्रिंक की बोतल वो 25 में देगा और बोलेगा 5 रुपीज इज अ कोल्ड, क्या कूलिंग चार्जेस। हाउ मेनी ऑफ वी विल आस्क टू द पर्टिकुलर पर्सन की 25 रुपए का बिल दे? वो मुंह पे बोल देगा जाओ नहीं देना है, बिल बॉटल भी नहीं देना है और नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारा बिल, यू गो आउट, गेट आउट फ्रॉम मी। सो दिस इज द प्राइस। सी आप किसके लिए, आप किसको पकड़ोगे? एमआरपी कितना है? 20। दुकान वाला बोल रहा है 25 चाहिए क्योंकि 5 रुपए का कूलिंग चार्जेस, उसके पास में कोई अथॉरिटी नहीं है कूलिंग, और ऐसा कोई रूल है, दैट इज द मैक्सिमम प्राइस। कैन यू बिलीव कि एक जो पानी की बोतल आती है, आई एम नॉट दैट इज कमेंटिंग ऑन एनी कंपनी, that particular cost is going to the 1 or 2 rupees. ठीक है? Suppose for example I am the wholesaler, so I will get that particular bottle 3 to 4 rupees. Second wholesaler वाला लेगा उसको 6-7 रुपए में, थर्ड वाला जो बल्क में लेगा वो 8 रुपए में, और जब वो रिटेलर बेचेगा तो इट कम्स टू द 20 रुपीज। ठीक है? अब व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट? जैसे आप वो ठीक है, अलग पहले, इस पहले जमाने में जब हमारा वक्त हुआ करता था सर, और हमारा उस वक्त में कोल्ड ड्रिंक, अभी तो प्लास्टिक के बॉटल में आता है, आज भी आता है कांच के बॉटल में आता है। व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर लिक्विड व्हिच इज पुट इनटू द बॉटल? Maybe 30 paisa or 50 paisa or 1 rupees. So these are the things where the particular consumers is exploited. आप जो बोल रहे हैं, I'm agree with you. आप जो बोल रहे हैं, I'm agree with you that rail is not taking cognizance because the rail ने जाको ग्राहक जाको जो बोला है। आप देखिए म्यूचुअल फंड का एक एडवर्टाइज आता है कि वो बोलता है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट इन म्यूचुअल फंड इज सब्जेक्ट टू द रिस्क ऑफ मार्केट। वो इतने फास्ट बोल के जाता है कि उसमें ध्यान नहीं रहता है हमारा, है ना? या फिर कोई भी प्रोडक्ट जब आता है तो प्रोडक्ट लेने से पहले सारी जानकारी पड़ी। इट इज द मिनिस्ट्री, इट इज द गवर्नमेंट हु आर सेइंग जागो ग्राहक जागो, कि आप कोई आपके पास में घर बेचने आता है और आपने लेना चाहिए, नॉट नेसेसरी। सो दीज आर द थिंग्स। यस, ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव अ राइट टू फाइल द केस अगेंस्ट टू द पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, बट द गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग देयर जॉब। गवर्नमेंट अवेयरनेस कर रही है, इंफॉर्मेशन दे रही है, और उसमें 15 रुपए ही लिखा होगा बॉटल पे। ये भी मैं जानता हूँ, मैंने तो कभी खरीदा नहीं, लेकिन 15 रुपए ही लिखा होगा। If I am giving 20 rupees without making any whatever, without making any जिसको हम उसको बोलेंगे कि हम कुछ ना बोलते हुए अगर ले रहे, it is my fault. It is the fault on the part of the consumer, because consumer has a right to get the information about everything. अब मुझे बताइए, हम कपड़े लेने जाते हैं, what is the criteria for purchasing the clothes? हम ऐसा ऐसा करके देखते कपड़े, क्या समझ में आता है? कोई इंप्रेशन मारते हैं दुकानदार पे, समझता है सब? कुछ नहीं समझता है। एंड वी आर चूजिंग द पर्टिकुलर थिंग विच इज एडवाइज्ड बाय दैट पर्टिकुलर शॉपकीपर। अब आप देखिए, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल आप कोई शोरूम में कपड़े लेने गए हो, शर्ट पहना है, वहां पे एग्जीक्यूटिव, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम टेकिंग माय एग्जांपल, डोंट इंटरप्रेट इन अदर वे। सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम गोइंग इन अ पर्टिकुलर शोरूम और मैंने एक कोट पहन के देखा, बगल में एक बहुत ही स्मार्ट और बहुत ही अच्छी एक सेल्समैन खड़ी होती है मेरी, बोलती कि सर बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हैं आप, तो उनको पैक करो पहले। अब वही घर पे आके बीवी बोलती क्या उठा के लेके आए? दैट इज द चॉइस ऑफ द कंज्यूमर। ये होता है कंज्यूमर के साथ, क्योंकि कंज्यूमर हैज अ लिबर्टी। मैं बोल रहा हूँ कंज्यूमर हैज अ लिबर्टी, लेकिन इट इज डोमिनेटेड, इट इज मैनिपुलेटेड, इट इज सप्रेस्ड बाय द समवन एल्स। जब वो सारी चीजें होता है, जैसे आप देखिए कोई भी चीज जब मुझे यूज करना है तो मैंने क्या देखना चाहिए? माय कंफर्ट। लेकिन मैं मैक्सिमम चीजें दूसरों की वजह से परचेस करता हूं। अब मेरे पास सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल, मेरे पास तो नहीं है, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल आई वांट टू परचेस द ऑडी, मेरे पास मारुति 800 है। why I want the Audi or the Mercedes Benz, whatever the brand? मुझे दूसरे को दिखाना है, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट द पर्टिकुलर पर्सन हु इज सेटिस्फाई माई सेल्फ. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम.
सर मेरा एक और सवाल है। अभी ऑनलाइन बुकिंग के समय में जैसे हम किसी भी पोर्टल पे जाते हैं, जियो मार्ट हुआ या फिर ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं, तो हम क्या होता है मॉर्निंग में लोग मिल्क बुक करते हैं, तो उसमें क्या होता है कि स्टोर से एक्सपायरी डेट मिल्क आ जाता है, ठीक है। लेकिन सर मैंने मेरे लास्ट ये नेट है कि कोई ऐसा एक हो नंबर हो या फिर ऐसी साइट हो जिसके ऊपर किया जाए किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट का कंप्लेन, उस पर एक्शन हो, क्योंकि डिपार्टमेंट ही एक्शन नहीं लेता मतलब नहीं होता ना, कंज्यूमर जाग के भी सो जाता है। तो ऐसा कोई है तो कंज्यूमर के लिए बेहतर है, लेकिन अगर हर चीजों के लिए भी सुबह से लेकर शाम तक कंज्यूमर लूटा जाए, ठीक, तो कंप्लेन कहाँ कहाँ करेंगे? अगर कहीं सुनवाई नहीं होती है तो कोई एक ऐसा पोर्टल आप रजिस्टर कर दे और वो सो जाए, लेकिन वो डिपार्टमेंट काम करे उसके लिए, वो जाग जाए, डिपार्टमेंट ही सोया।
सर आप मीडिया से हैं?
जी सर।
अगर आप नहीं रहते तो इसका आंसर मैं दे देता. अगर आज मैं मीडिया के सामने ऐसा कुछ बोल दूं तो कल तो भी एज एन एकेडमिशियन आई हैव द लिबर्टी. इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन सर अभी हम 150 करोड़ के पास जाएंगे. 150 करोड़, थाउजेंड्स एंड करोड़ ऑफ कंप्लेंट इज फाइलिंग, ठीक है ना. अब आप अगर सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल मान के चलिए बॉम्बे का पॉपुलेशन, प्लीज मेक मी करेक्ट, 1.5 करोड़ तो होगा मिनिमम. 1 करोड़ पकड़ लीजिए सेफ साइड, 1 करोड़ होगा, चलिए 10 लाख पकड़ लीजिए, छोड़ो आंकड़ों में कुछ रखा नहीं, 10 लाख पकड़ लीजिए. 10 लाख में से रोज अगर 10,000 कंप्लेंट भी अगर आती है कंज्यूमर्स की, और 10 लाख कंज्यूमर्स को टैकल करने के लिए आपने एक बंदे को रखा है, बेहतर ह्यूमनली इज पॉसिबल. एक दूसरी बात, अगर हम ऐसा कोई मैकेनिज्म ये करते हैं, इस तरह आप उसको थोड़ा पॉज कर दीजिएगा, है ना. पॉज कर दीजिए, आप भी पॉज कर दीजिए. जो करप्शन है ना, अब कहाँ पे है, कैसा है, कौन करता है, क्या करता है, इसको अगर आप देखेंगे ना तो वो कंज्यूमर से नहीं, वो दुकानदार से जाके बोलेगा कि तू रोज लोगों को एक्सपायरी भेज भाई. आई केम टू नो. जो एरिया में मैं कहा रहता हूँ छोड़ दीजिए, जो एरिया में मैं रहता हूँ वहां पे रास्ता नहीं है जाने के लिए बॉम्बे में. इट इज अ 60 फीट रोड वेयर देयर आर सो मेनी हॉकर्स एंड ये सारे लोग बैठे हुए. मुझे यार क्यों, व्हाई? तो देखिए सिर्फ 500 रुपए देते हैं महीने के, एंड दैट म्युनिसिपल जो भी है इज नॉट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ इट. अब अगर सपोज मैं ऑफिसर हो गया आपका, मैं बोलूंगा कि भैया तू कितना बेच रहा है एक्सपायरी डेट के, आप बोलेंगे सर रोज के 10 जाते, मैं बोलूंगा 100 बेच कल से, ठीक, 10 का माल मेरे को मिलना चाहिए. ये सिस्टम है सर. दिस इज द व्हाट वी कॉल एज, दिस इज द लीगल सिस्टम, दिस इज द डार्क साइड. ये को आता है ना कि डार्क पैटर्न, डार्क वेब, उसमें डार्क लीगल साइड है. आप शुरू कर सकते हैं सर प्लीज. एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस सर प्लीज.
सर जैसे अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे अभी ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स आ गए शॉपिंग के लिए वगैरह. तो अर्लियर इट वाज जब न्यू न्यू था तब सब फ्री डिलीवरी, फ्री. अभी लोग क्या करने लगे प्लेटफॉर्म फ्री, कार्ड ऑफर हैंडलिंग फी, सेल फी, ऐसे बहुत सारे फीस इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिए. पहले तो वो 10-15 रुपए था, अभी आप कोई बड़ा सामान लोगे तो उस पर 400-500 की फीस लग जाते हैं. तो पहले तो बिल भी नहीं था, अभी तो वो बिल भी देने लग गए कि प्रोटेक्ट ऑन. तो इसका क्या सोल्यूशन है कि इसको कुछ हम लोग जैसे प्रोडक्ट को एमआरपी रेगुलेट कर रही है, वैसे सर्विस को कुछ रेगुलेटरी बॉडी है?
सर दिक्कत क्या है ना कि आपके घर पे मिलता है आपको. जैसे सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे अगर वेजिटेबल लेना है तो मुझे मार्केट में जाना है, मेरे पैरों से चल के जाना है, गाड़ी से जाना है, 10 लोगों को दिमाग खराब करना है, धूप में घूमना है, लाभ 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 बहुत सारी चीज. वो बंदा क्या कर रहा है, आपसे 10 रुपए ले रहा है लेकिन आपके घर पे लाके, ठीक है, इट इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म सर. ठीक, दूसरी बात, एक ही ऑप्शन है आपके पास, मत खरीदिए. मार्केट एंड परचेज द गुड्स फ्रॉम. जैसे अभी सपोज ऑनलाइन आप बोलते हैं ना टीवी, जो भी जितने भी चीजें मिलती है, दे आर शोइंग दैट 50% ऑफ, 20% ऑफ. जो सर भी सुबह बोल के गए, लाइफ में कमर्शियल मार्केट में कोई भी चीज ऑफ और फ्री नहीं है, कोई नहीं है सर, कोई नहीं है. तो जैसे एक बर्गर पे अगर आपको दूसरा बर्गर भी फ्री मिल रहा हो तो वो फ्री नहीं है. शायद उनके रात में बचा होगा या फिर उसको गर्म करके आपके प्लेट में आ रहा होगा, ढूंढ. Who knows? Who knows? ये किसी को पता नहीं है सर. तो ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म फीस वगैरह है ना, आप देखिए वो पहले, सी दिस इज द माइंड गेम. जब हमारे पास में ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म आए थे तो हमें बहुत सारे फ्री 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 मिलता था. given a very example. Please again pause it. It was no Jivo. जब जियो का मार्केट आया था तो ही गिव द 100% इंटरनेट 24/7 by 365 days. आज
presence today, and it has been a pleasure having you with us today. Your words have had profound impact on us. Now, to take this program forward, I would like to invite my co-host, Ms. Harshada, to take the proceedings further. Thank you, Sakshi ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this program. We will now move forward to the technical sessions of today's program. During these sessions, experts from the Bureau of Indian Standards will share valuable insights on important developments in certification, hallmarking, and standardization. Let us begin with the first session on BIS certification, enabling ease of doing. It is my privilege to invite Sri Anurag Sir, Scientific Bureau of Indian Standards, to deliver the presentation. I request Sir to please come up. Yes, and I have also forgot. So please.
Good afternoon. PIS has been a pioneer organization in the government department ensuring the protection of the consumers and also recalibrating itself always for easing the business for the manufacturers. I'll give the overview like how we are doing different things to ease the business and also ensuring the protection of the consumers. So first of all, first of all, stakeholders of BIS are first of all manufacturers and industry associated जिनके साथ हमने बहुत सारे स्पेशल कोर्सेज किए हैं प्रोडक्ट्स जैसे कि हेलमेट्स मिक्स फूड मिक्सचर देन आपकी वाटर ये सब चीजों के बारे में डिस्कशन करें so that the industries are able to understand कि हमारे स्टैंडर्ड्स क्या है how to implement it what are the methods of testing and they maintain कैसे करना important then there are different sector-wise industrial needs also, जैसे कि industrial solutions and chemicals के, petrochemicals के, metallurgy, steel industries, इनके साथ हमने बहुत सारे meetings involve किए हैं, so that they get the idea about the standardization process and all. Then we have workshops on the QCOs when the quality control orders are issued. We are imparting the knowledge about the dates and what are the methods, how they should implement the QCs. Then we have Manas Samvad. This is for the newly inducted licensees, जो जिन्हें new license मिलता है. They don't know about what is the process and how to ensure that they are correctly implementing the standard while manufacturing and all. तो उनके साथ हम ये न्यू मीटिंग करते हैं, around 2-3 months में हमारे मीटिंग्स होते हैं, and we inform them about different guidelines and all. Then Manak Manthana is there. Whenever there is change in a standard, there is a revision. We discuss with the manufacturers, impart them changes and what needs to be done for implementing the changes. Then we have laboratories में BIS के खुद के भी laboratories हैं, then government laboratories भी है, private laboratories भी है. We have empaneled them and recognized them, and it helps them to get for in this way they are having a relationship with BIS because इन्हें टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटीज इनके यूज करके हम यहाँ पे टेस्टिंग करवाते हैं डिफरेंट सैंपल्स के जो लाइसेंसेस हमारे तरफ से प्रोवाइड किए गए उनके सैंपल ड्रॉ यहाँ पे टेस्ट होते हैं शो कि दे आर कंप्लाइंग विद द स्टैंडर्ड्स विद गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स हमने जितने भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं ऑल ओवर द इंडिया सारे जितने भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेड्स हैं उनके साथ हमने मीटिंग कर रखी है स्टेट लेवल कमेटी मीटिंग्स भी होती है जहाँ पे चीफ सेक्रेटरीज जो होते हैं डिफरेंट डिफरेंट स्टेट्स के उनके साथ मीटिंग्स होती है. And then even we have gone to the grassroots level जहाँ पे ग्राम पंचायत एंड सेक्रेटरीज होते हैं उनको भी हमने बीआईएस के बारे में इन्फॉर्म किया है एंड व्हाट इज द प्रोसेस उनके भी टेंडरिंग प्रोसेसेस में कैसे बीआईएस को इम्प्लीमेंट करना है दे आर परचेजिंग एंड ऑल तो वहाँ पे चेंजेस उन्हें क्या करने चाहिए इसके बारे में हम लोगों ने बताया है. Then comes educational establishments जैसे कि बिग आईटी जितने भी आईटी हैं सब हो गए एनआईटी हो गए इनके साथ हमने एमओयू किए अराउंड 96 कॉलेजेस हैं राइट नाउ इनके साथ हमने किया है एमओयू एंड इन दिस वे द स्टूडेंट्स आर गेटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द स्टैंडर्ड्स एंड उन्हें शुरू से ही बताया जा रहा है कि स्टैंडर्ड्स के बारे में कि कैसे उसे रियल लाइफ में यूज किया जाएगा बिकॉज दीज आर ऑल इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस तो वही फ्यूचर में इस स्टैंडर्ड से यूज करेंगे डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स एंड ऑल तो उन्हें इम्पार्ट किया जा रहा है इवन स्टूडेंट चैप्टर्स भी हमने इंट्रोड्यूस किए इनकी करिकुलम देन स्कूल्स एंड कॉलेजेस में हमने स्टैंडर्ड क्लब्स ओपन किए लर्निंग साइंस वाइज स्टैंडर्ड्स सो वी हैव मेड मेथड लर्निंग साइंस वाइज स्टैंडर्ड जहाँ पे साइंस पार्ट क्या होता है किसी भी स्टैंडर्ड के पीछे उन चीजों के बारे में हम डिस्कस करते हैं दीज आर फॉर द स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स ओनली 9-10 के जो स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं उनको हम ये इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं एंड देन बीएस के इंटर्नशिप स्कीम्स भी होती है for the consumers, different consumer awareness programs रहते हैं. BIS talks and videos are available on the YouTube and BIS website. Standard Watch अभी आजकल आने लगे हैं. Then quality connect programs रहते हैं, quality runs and marathons ये सभी हम लोग हैं. Now talking about the major BIS standard mark, ISI mark सबको पता ही होगा तो हम then this is for the electronics product and all. HUID के बारे में बताओ. And this is for the management systems. जो ISO 9000 and different different standards of and that is for the welfare. मेन हमारा फोकस है प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन के बारे में. So product certification में ISI marks यूज होगा. Right now we have more than 50,000 lines all over the India. 14,000 से ज्यादा standards उसमें already certify हो रहे हैं. Now on the certification there are two parts, mandatory and voluntary. मैंडेटरी प्रोडक्ट्स वो होते हैं जिसे क्यूसीओ क्वालिटी कंट्रोल ऑर्डर के थ्रू किसी मिनिस्ट्री ने मैंडेटरी कर रखा है कि उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट अगर इंडिया में बिकना है तो उसे सर्टिफिकेशन बीआईएस से लेना होगा. तो ये एक मिनिस्ट्री करता है. एंड देन वॉलंटरी प्रोडक्ट्स जो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जैसे देयर आर मेनी स्टैंडर्ड्स उसके अगेंस्ट में वो वॉलंटरी प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन ले सकते हैं एंड इट्स नॉट मैंडेटरी. इट्स बेस्ड ऑन देयर ओन सो now how we are easing the businesses and all. First of all जो कंसेशन ऑफ द मार्किंग फी है इसमें हमने जो स्टार्टअप होते हैं उनको 50% डिस्काउंट दे रखा है मार्किंग फी में. माइक्रो स्केल के लिए 80% है, स्मॉल स्केल के लिए 50%, मीडियम स्केल के लिए 20% एंड वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर है तो 10% एडिशनल डिस्काउंट है अदर देन द ऑन देयर. Then क्वालिटी कंट्रोल ऑर्डर जो इश्यू होता है इससे एक यूनिफॉर्म प्लेटफॉर्म मिल जाता है डिफरेंट कंपनीज को नॉट ओनली इन इंडिया बट अगर आउटसाइड से भी जो इंपोर्ट होते हैं so they are on the same level. In this way we are able to control the quality as well as the market जहाँ पे competency ज़्यादा है उन्हें हम control कर पाते हैं. Then the next 2 points are needing surrounding quality assurance plan. जो जितने भी हमारे दिस इज द न्यू थिंग जो भी अभी करंट लाइसेंसेस है वो इससे नोटिस करेंगे कि क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस प्लान में इम्प्लीमेंट किया गया स्कीम ऑफ इंस्पेक्शन एंड टेस्टिंग होता है। नाउ व्हाटएवर पहले जो आपको एसआईटी देखते होंगे उसमें ये मेजर चेंज किए गए शैल डिफाइन और क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस प्लान, यानी कि आपको डिफाइन करना है। अगर आपने एसआईटी का एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं तो आप खुद से भी डिफाइन कर सकते हैं। यू कैन डिफाइन योर कंट्रोल लिमिट, लेवल्स ऑफ कंट्रोल इंक्लूडिंग द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ टेस्टिंग। किसी पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट की टेस्टिंग मान लीजिए डेली है या फिर monthly है, if you want to change the frequency of testing with the valid information that कि for example the test is very expensive या फिर उसके इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं मिलते, it is being charged too much, तो उसके फ्रीक्वेंसीज को भी आप चेंज कर सकते हैं। इवन फॉर मेनी टेस्ट जो सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पहले आपके इन हाउस में होने चाहिए थे, उसे आप सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी बाहर के लैब से कर सकते हैं। इट बीइंग परमिटेड नाउ, it has to be declared by the manufacturer. So whatever is in the SIT or the product manual, it is now a recommended change, not a mandatory. ये ग्रांट ऑफ लाइसेंस में अभी एक अब मैं बातें करूंगा जो चेंजेस किए गए गाइडलाइंस। ग्रांट ऑफ लाइसेंस में एक इंपॉर्टेंट चेंज किया गया कि अगर एक मैन्युफैक्चरर उसके पास पहले से लाइसेंस है अवेलेबल एंड फॉर सम रीजन उसे बहुत जल्दी है उस लाइसेंस के लिए एंड इट इज अंडर ऑप्शन 1 ओनली, नॉर्मल प्रोसीजर जो टेक्स अराउंड 90 डेज अप्रॉक्स, उसमें अगर उसके पास कंप्लीट टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी है इन द प्रीमाइसेस, देन वी कैन कंसीडर दैट एप्लीकेशन ऑन बेसिस ऑफ फैक्ट टेस्ट बेसिस ओनली। पहले ये किसी किसी प्रोडक्ट्स में किया जाता था, जैसे कि ग्लास में किया जाता था, बट अब ये सबके लिए एप्लीकेबल कर दिया गया। पर यही है कि उसके पास कंप्लीट टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी होनी चाहिए एंड इट शुड बी रिक्वायर्ड इमीडिएटली फॉर देम, या फिर किसी कोई क्यूसो ये सब आ गई उसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन भी करना होगा। अगर कोई मैन्युफैक्चरर जिसका ऑप्शन 2 में सिंप्लीफाइड में सैंपल फेल हो जाता है एंड उसके बाद कैंसिल हो जाता है लाइसेंस, या फिर फॉर एनी लीगल वेरिफिकेशन सैंपल के बाद उसका सस्पेंशन हो गया या कैंसिलेशन हो गया, वो अब अगर जब भी अप्लाई करेगा वो ऑप्शन 1 में ही कर सकता है, ऑप्शन 2 में नहीं कर सकता। ये एक बहुत रिलैक्सेशन किया गया है सारे इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए कि जो उनकी टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी है, एक तो क्यूएपी में मैंने आपको बता दिया कि वहां पे आप कर सकते हैं ना, वेज आप कैसे कैसे सब कॉन्टैक्ट कर सकते हैं फॉर द टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटीज जो आपके पास नहीं थी। इसमें क्या कर सकते हैं कि विद लाइसेंसी लाइक मैन्युफैक्चर जो कोई और लाइसेंसी है उसके पास वो टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी, आप उससे वो टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी शेयर कर सकते हैं। नॉन लाइसेंसी मैन्युफैक्चर से भी आप शेयर कर सकते हैं। क्लस्टर बेस्ड फैसिलिटी भी आप यूज कर सकते हैं कि एक जगह पे कोई कॉमन टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटी है उसे डिफरेंट डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज यूज कर सकती है। वी कैन रिकॉग्नाइज दैट ऑल्सो। Then it can be subcontracted from BIS recognized and panel laboratories, वो सबको पता ही होगा, but this is the new one, any accredited laboratory as per ISO 17025। तो अगर इन सब में से भी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है, मे बी आपकी विसिनिटी में कोई लैब है जो कि accredited है ISO 17025 से, आप उससे भी वो टेस्ट सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं। ये फिर एक पहले होता था कि इन ऑप्शन 2 अगर आपका वेरिफिकेशन सैंपल फेल हो गया, देन उसके बाद एक और आपका इंस्पेक्शन होगा, उसके बाद सैंपल ड्रॉ होगा। इफ दैट आल्सो फेल्स, देन द कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी, इन दिस केस डेप्यूटी डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ द रीजन, ही हैज द पावर, आपका लाइसेंस पहले कैंसिल हो जाता, बट ही हैज द पावर नाउ कि आपका कैंसिल नहीं है, बट कंप्लीटली डिपेंड्स कि आपका केस कैसा है एंड व्हाट इज द क्राइटेरिया ऑफ योर फेलियर एंड ऑल। और एक और चीज है, न्यू लाइसेंस जब आप अप्लाई करेंगे, इट कैन बी ग्रांटेड अप टू 5 इयर्स। तो आप जब अप्लाई करेंगे पहले 1 ईयर ही होता था, नाउ इट कैन बी अप टू 5 इयर्स। इन केस ऑफ फेलियर्स ऑफ सैंपल, नाउ व्हेनेवर देयर इज अ फेलियर ऑफ सैंपल, आपको एक बार बता दिया गया कि आपका फेलियर हुआ है, नाउ इट इज on the owners of the manufacturer that they have to submit the corrective actions। अगर नहीं किया तो हम सुमो मोटो मान लेंगे कि within 30 days की आपने corrective actions ले लिया है एंड उसके अगेंस्ट में हम सैंपल ड्रॉ कर लेंगे एंड इट विल बी कंसीडर्ड कि वो ये सैंपल करेक्टिव एक्शंस लिया गया हुआ सैंपल। नाउ इन केसेस ऑफ शिफ्टिंग ऑफ प्रीमाइसेस, बहुत सारे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स का ऐसा होता है कि उन्हें शिफ्ट करना होता है एंड दे वांट द अर्ली इंस्पेक्शन एंड ऑल। नाउ एज पर द न्यू गाइडलाइन, अगर आपका शिफ्टिंग ऑफ प्रीमाइसेस हुआ है एंड आपने सारे सपोर्टिव डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट कर दिए हैं, सो वी वोंट वेट फॉर द inspection to happen on the basis of test audit only, आपका शिफ्टिंग ऑफ प्रीमाइसेस हम कंसीडर कर लेंगे, बट ये विद इन 60 डेज आपका इंस्पेक्शन हो जाएगा, विल बी कंफर्मिंग वेरीफाइंग द बोथ ओल्ड एंड द न्यू। अगेन बहुत सारे लोगों का भी कैंसिलेशन का इनिशिएट होता है फॉर द प्रोडक्ट फेलियर या फिर अनसैटिस्फैक्टरी विजिट. In those cases, appeal is not mandatory now. If the supporting documents are found valid and वो satisfactory है as per the जो भी failure या फिर reasons, उस basis पे भी आपका cancellation revoke हो सकता है. Appeal is not mandatory. आप personal hearing के लिए आना जरूरी नहीं है. अब आता है एक और चीज इसमें फैक्ट्री सर्विस में बीआईएस कैन ऑलवेज कैरी एनी इंस्पेक्शन एट योर प्रीमाइसेस जब भी उसे लगेगा कि वहां पे किया जा सकता है एंड द फैक्ट्री सर्विस हैज बीन चेंज प्रीवियसली ये था कि हर 6 महीने में एक विजिट हुआ करता था अब ये 5 इयर्स में कर दिया गया एक बार होगा तो दिस अ मेजर चेंज 5 इयर्स में एक बार इंस्पेक्शन होगा एंड अगर आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो फैक्ट्री टेस्ट बेसिस पे यानी कि उसके मार्क सैंपल नहीं मिलते या फिर इट इज नॉट इजीली अवेलेबल इन दोस केसेस ओनली ईयरली एक बार होगा फॉर एग्जांपल जो बड़े स्टील इंडस्ट्रीज होते हैं उनके स्टील के कॉइल्स हो गए या फिर शीट्स हो गए वो नहीं अवेलेबल होते इन दोस केसेस वैसे इंडस्ट्रीज का एक बार इंस्पेक्शन होगा एंड फोर्थली these inspection will be carried by the PS officers now. For the marking sample also, frequency of market surveillance has been kept to 2 per year. पहले क्वार्टरली होते थे हर ये 4-4 महीने 3-3 महीने पे ड्रॉ होते थे अब ये 2 पर ईयर हो गए एंड अगर कुछ नॉन कंप्लायंस है देन ओनली इट विल बी इंक्रीज टू 3 to 4 पर ईयर दैट
Thank you, sir, for that information and for the explanation. Your explanation has helped us clearly understand how various certification is simplifying processes and while ensuring quality and consumer trust. We now look forward to the next session on recent developments in Hormone. For that, it is my pleasure to invite Shri Ashish Kapil sir, scientist and faculty officer, Bureau of Indian Standards, to present the session. I request Ashish sir to kindly comment.
So, my name is Ashish Varke. Basically, I'm working as working officer to in Western region. तो मैं आपको अभी बेसिकली हॉलमार्किंग स्कीम का एक ओवरव्यू दूंगा जो नॉर्मल कस्टमर्स को कंज्यूमर्स को पता रहना चाहिए और हमारी हॉलमार्किंग स्कीम में अभी कुछ रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट्स क्या है किस चीज पे अभी डिस्कशन हो रहा है कांग्रेस में वो मैं आपको ओवरऑल चल तो बेसिकली दिस इज द डाटा ऑफ वेरियस स्टेक होल्डर्स जो भी हमारे एज ऑन डेट है तो आप देख सकते हैं कि टोटल हमारे अप्रोक्सीमेट 2 लाख गोल्ड ज्वेलर रजिस्टर्ड है और कुछ 22,000 सिल्वर ज्वेलर्स रजिस्टर्ड है एंड वी हैव अराउंड 1,600 ANCs recognized all over India and total 65 refineries. So on an average, in previous years, under the scheme, ANC used to hallmark around 14 to 15 crores. But now the price of gold is so high that presently as on date it is around 11 crores. 11 crore articles have been hallmarked in this financial year. So this is just to give you a background. 1998, 1999 में एक मार्केट सर्वे हुआ था then गवर्नमेंट ने मेजर मेट्रो सिटीज से गोल्ड सैंपल्स ड्रॉ किए just to check what the consumer is getting for the value he is paying. अगर ज्वेलर 916 डिक्लेयर करा तो क्या मिल रहा है तो वो चेक करने के लिए मार्केट सर्वे हुआ था उसमें बहुत ज्यादा सीरियस डिफिशिएंसीज देखी गई थी जिसके बाद ये रिकमेंड किया कि वी शुड तो स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड प्रोसेस शुड हैव अ स्टैंडर्ड फॉर टेस्टिंग गोल्ड, ठीक है। तो उसके लिए फिर बीआईएस को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया एंड वी टेक अप hallmarking from gold in the country. So these are the timelines. So gold jewelry artifacts को जो है तो it came around the scheme came around in April 2000. Then in October 2005 silver का भी स्टैंडर्ड बना, तो अक्टूबर 2005 में हुआ। उसके बाद one major turnaround in this BIS hallmarking scheme was when it was made mandatory in the districts having hallmarking centers. So that was June 2021. June 2021 में बहुत सारे districts में hallmarking mandatory हो गया। Presently, as on date, out of all the districts, 380 districts में hallmarking is mandatory for gold. So this is how the scheme works. Basically, the jewelers gets registration of BIS through NSWS portal, which is National Single Window System. Then जो हमारा दूसरा stakeholder है ALC centers, they get recognition of BIS through a prescribed format wherein they get license recognition as per IS 15820. तो उसका एक set of procedure है, इसके against हम ALC को recognize करते हैं। Then we also grant license, which is covered under certification scheme, to the mints and refineries. तो mints and refineries क्या करती हैं वो भी मैं आपको आगे वीडियो में बताऊंगा। तो basically herein the major stakeholder is the consumer who is buying the gold, जो सोना ले रहा है। दूसरा है ज्वेलर जो सोना बेच रहा है, ठीक है। तो हम AHC के थ्रू एक थर्ड पार्टी एश्योरेंस देने की कोशिश करते हैं कि whatever 916 अगर 22 कैरेट का ले रहा है तो 22 कैरेट का है या नहीं, तो ये हमारे AHC एक थर्ड पार्टी एश्योरेंस देते हैं। So basically this BIS hallmarking scheme is basically providing a third party assurance to the consumer. तो ये स्कीम में तीन हमारे पिलर्स हैं। एक ये गोल्ड ज्वेलर्स एंड आर्टिफैक्ट्स के लिए, दूसरा सिल्वर ज्वेलर्स एंड आर्टिफैक्ट्स के लिए, और तीसरा इज रिफाइनरीज एंड फिल्स। So first we will talk about gold jewelry and artifacts. So presently हमारा हर प्रोडक्ट के अगेंस्ट एक स्टैंडर्ड रहता है। Similarly gold के लिए हमारे पास corresponding standard है IS 1417. तो 1417 में various fineness दी हुई हैं। Presently there are around 8 finenesses. So you can see 22 कैरेट का 996 है, 18 कैरेट का 750 है। 750 is 750 parts gold out of 1000. So total 8 finenesses are there, and you can see 24 KS, 24 KF. These are standard gold or fine gold corresponding to 9951, 999 finenesses. तो इसमें जब हमारा सेंटर टेस्ट करता है तो उसमें नो नेगेटिव टॉलरेंसेस अलाउ। तो जब भी अगर कोई ज्वेलर उनके पास आता है और वो बोलता है कि ये 750 फाइनेंस 18 कैरेट का है, तो इफ आफ्टर फॉलोइंग आवर प्रोसीजर इफ सेंटर फाइंड्स कि ये 750 के ऊपर है, देन ओनली दे कैन डू हॉलमार्किंग। तो सेंटर्स के लिए नो नेगेटिव टॉलरेंस। बाद में प्रोसीजर फॉर हॉलमार्किंग। तो बेसिकली हॉलमार्किंग कैसा होता है, क्या प्रोसीजर है, इसमें मैं आपको एक ब्रीफ ओवरव्यू दे रहा हूँ कि how rigorously we test both 100% of the articles and through sampling process, जिसकी वजह से हमको समझ में आता है कि ये जो लॉट है वो उतना डिक्लेयर्ड फाइनेंस का है। Basically this is the just brief flow chart wherein jewelers goes to the center, hallmarking center. उसके बाद वो हॉलमार्किंग सेंटर उस लॉट का एक होमोजेनिटी चेक करता है कि अगर ये बोल रहा है 22 कैरेट का है तो पूरा लॉट 22 कैरेट का है या नहीं, तो उसका होमोजेनिटी चेक करता है एक्सआरएफ मशीन से, एक्सआरएफ प्रोसेस मशीन से। उसके बाद अगर वो पास होता है तो उसको आगे बढ़ाया जाता है, नहीं तो फिर उसको वापस उसी स्टेज पर रिटर्न किया जाता है। अगर वो पास होता है तो उसके बाद फिर सैम्पलिंग होती है, सैम्पलिंग के बाद फायर एसे होता है, फायर एसे पास हुआ उसके बाद ही हॉलमार्किंग की है। हॉलमार्किंग के बाद देन इट गोस टू द रजिस्टर्ड ज्वेलर। तो इसमें और एक डिटेल आपको मैं थोड़ा ये किया, तो इसमें एक्सरे फ्लोरेसेंस, एक्सरे मशीन से हम एक्सरे फ्लोरेसेंस से भी चेक द होमोजेनिटी ऑफ द लॉट। तो ये 100% हर आर्टिकल का चेक होता है। उसके बाद अगर ये पास हुआ तब उसके बाद हम वेरियस मेथड से सैम्पलिंग करते हैं। तो हमारे स्टैंडर्ड में एक सैम्पलिंग प्लान दिया हुआ है कि इसके हिसाब से आपको ऐसी सैम्पलिंग करनी है, तो वेरियस मेथड ऑफ सैम्पलिंग, कटिंग करते हैं कभी, अगर हमको दिस इज बेस्ड ऑन डिस्क्रिप्शन। सैम्पलर को लगा कि मुझे कटिंग करना है, मुझे माइक्रो ड्रिलिंग करना है, मुझे स्क्रैपिंग करना है, तो वो अपने डिस्क्रिप्शन के हिसाब से करते हैं। और उसके बाद सैम्पलिंग के बाद फायर एसे, तो फायर एसे में हम कैलकुलेशन करते हैं। कैलकुलेशन में बिकॉज जो भी आप 916 आप गोल्ड रिवाइज कर रहे हैं, तो वो पूरा गोल्ड नहीं है, वो गोल्ड अलग है, उसके अंदर सिल्वर भी रहेगा, उसके अंदर कॉपर रहेगा, उसके अंदर जिंक रहेगा। तो कैलकुलेशन स्टेज में जो भी बेस मटेरियल्स हैं, तो गोल्ड और सिल्वर को छोड़ के कॉपर, जिंक, जो भी बेस मटेरियल्स हैं, वो सारे मटेरियल्स इस स्टेज में निकल जाते हैं। इसके बाद एक और इम्पोर्टेंट जो स्टेप है जो हम असेंग में करते हैं, वो पार्टिंग। पार्टिंग में हम जो भी गोल्ड और सिल्वर बचा है आफ्टर कैलकुलेशन, तो इसमें हम सिल्वर को बाजू करते हैं, जिसके बाद उस सैंपल के अंदर गोल्ड कितना है, और हम कंपैरिजन मेथड से हम पता करते हैं कि उसके अंदर गोल्ड कितना है। अगर वो पास होता है, हम कहते हैं उसके ऊपर है, तभी ओनली वी डू लेजर मार्क। हमारे सारे सेंटर्स लेजर मार्किंग के थ्रू ही एक यूनिक कोड है जो मैं आपको आगे बताऊंगा, वो मार्क कर सकते। तो बेसिकली HUID एक यूनिक नंबर रहता है जो अल्फा न्यूमेरिक रहता है। अल्फा न्यूमेरिक ए से जेड तक सब अल्फाबेट्स और नंबर्स 1 to 0 to 9 जो 6 डिजिट रहता है। दे आर n नंबर ऑफ कॉम्बिनेशन, यू कैन सी कॉम्बिनेशन ऑपरेशंस। तो ये हर आर्टिकल में एक यूनिक कोड लगाया जाता है। तो वो दिखता कैसे है? कुछ ऐसा दिखता है। यू कैन सी BIS लोगो सबसे पहले आता है कि BIS लोगो उसमें आएगा। उसके बाद 22K916 मतलब आप कितना कैरेट है वो भी दिखता है, कितना फाइनेंस है वो भी दिखता है। उसके बाद एक यूनिक नंबर आता है जो हर आर्टिकल में एक यूनिक नंबर होता है, ठीक है। तो ये लेजर मार्किंग के थ्रू ही होगा। तो 22K916, ठीक है, वैसे 18K750, ठीक है, तो दैट वे इट इज देयर। तो ये ऑफिस मैंने संक्षेप में लिखा हुआ है कि इसमें अगर आप HOID, तो HOID ये हम आपके मोबाइल में BIS के ऐप है। BIS के ऐप यू कैन डाउनलोड थ्रू एन एंड्रॉइड ऑल्सो, एंड इज ऑल्सो अवेलेबल इन iOS। तो वेयर अगर आप जब डालते हैं तो यू विल बी एबल टू सी प्योरिटी की, उसकी क्या डिक्लेयर प्योरिटी थी, कौन सा ज्वेलर था, कौन से सेंटर ने मार्क किया है, और डेट ऑफ मार्किंग किया है, जिसकी वजह से कंज्यूमर को एक ट्रेसेबिलिटी समझ में आती है कि ये मैं किससे ले रहा हूँ, कौन सा प्योरिटी वो जो ज्वेलर बोल रहा है वो है या नहीं। उसका कंज्यूमर कॉन्फिडेंस के लिए we can verify it through this. So this is how just a review demo. Verify HOID. इसमें वो HOID नंबर डालेंगे, only the 6-digit alphanumeric code. उसके बाद they can see the jeweler registration number, saying center name, the registration number, his address, article type, article type and date of hallmarking along with period. So all these details are visible in BIAS के अंदर। तो कुछ ऐसा दिखता है जैसे 14K585, तो कुछ ऐसा दिखता है कि इसमें BIAS लोगो दिख रहा है, 14K585 दिख रहा है। उसके बाद जो आगे नंबर दिख रहा है, that is the unique alphanumeric code which is unique to every article. So now moving on to our second point, which is silver jewelry and artifacts. तो सिल्वर के लिए हमारा अलग स्टैंडर्ड है, बिकॉज हर प्रोडक्ट वाइज भी हमारा स्टैंडर्ड। सो सिल्वर भी हम IS 2112। तो इसमें हमारे आप देख सकते हैं टोटल सिल्वर ज्वेलरी एंड आर्टिफैक्ट्स के टोटल 7 ग्रेड्स फ्रॉम 800 to 999 finest। और फाइन ज्वेलर्स, फाइन ज्वेलरी, फाइन सिल्वर बुलियन और आर्टिफैक्ट्स बुलियंस के लिए we have around 3 grades from 999 to 999.9। तो जो ज्वेलरी आर्टिफैक्ट्स है वो वॉल्यूमेट्रिक और ग्राविमेट्रिक टेस्ट से टेस्ट होता है। बेसिकली वो वेट मेथड है और एक वेट मेथड है। और जो फाइन सिल्वर है which is more than 9 and which is more than 9.9, तो इसके लिए हमको और स्पेशलाइज मेथड ICP OES which is mentioned in IS 16900 वो यूज करता है। इसमें भी नो नेगेटिव टॉलरेंस इज परमिटेड एट द सेंटर. So this is how it looks. तो इसमें IS 2112 is recently revised in 2025. तो 1 सितंबर 2025 से हमारे ये गाइडलाइंस है कि हमारे सेंटर्स जो भी हॉलमार्किंग सेंटर्स हैं what they can do only HOID of silver. ठीक है, इसमें गोल्ड हॉलमार्क नहीं कर सकते. This is how the HOID of silver looks like. If you see से पहले BIS logo, उसके बाद the word silver is there, then the corresponding finance is mentioned, and then the unique code is mentioned in case of silver. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली ये प्रेजेंटली अभी वॉलंटरी है, और सपोज कोई भी सेंटर अगर वो हॉलमार्क कर रहा है, then he needs to follow, he or she needs to follow the unique code. So now we move on to the third, which is gold bullions and coins. So bullion and coin की definition हमारे स्टैंडर्ड में दी हुई है BS 1417. So bullion is refined gold bars of various shapes of standard and fine gold manufactured by mints and refineries. Then coin is, the gold coin is a flat sheet of 24 KS or KF fine grade gold of any shape and size having no legal value of tender. So basically only the refinery and the mint can manufacture bullion and coin in two grades, which is 24 KF and 24 KS fine and standard gold, 995 और 999 purity. बिकॉज यही हमारा बेस रहता है, जिसके बाद फिर फर्दर आर्टिसन इसमें काम करने के बाद फिर हमारी ज्वेलरी और आर्टिफैक्ट्स बनते. So licensing of gold refineries, ये granted to manufacture engaged in refining by acquiring or electric process, and it is granted as per IS 1416. जैसा मैं बताया उसमें हम ग्रांट करते हैं गोल्ड बुलियन एंड गोल्ड कॉइन only in two finances, that is standard gold and fine. इसमें basically there is no HOID as in HOID number is there. Self marking rights are given to the refineries. So latest development in hallmarking. अभी जैसा मैंने आपको BIS केयर ऐप में बताया कि BIS केयर ऐप में आपको ट्रेसेबिलिटी मिल रही है कि कौन ANC सेंटर है, आर्टिकल टाइप का नाम है, ठीक है. But now to further give more information to the consumer, ये तो and weight capture भी अभी इंट्रोडक्शन में चल रहा है. From 1st May onwards it will be made mandatory. So basically इसमें हम ये चाह रहे हैं कि फोटो कैप्चर जो आर्टिकल की फोटो है, तो जब आप BIS केयर आप देखेंगे तो आपको आर्टिकल की फोटो भी दिखेगी, फिर जो आर्टिकल में जो HOID है उसका भी फोटो दिखेगा जो सेंटर ने लिया है, और उसका करस्पॉन्डिंग ग्रॉस वेट क्या है वो भी कंज्यूमर को दिखेगा. तो हैज कंज्यूमर कॉन्फिडेंस विल इंक्रीज. तो ये एक नई चीज अभी हम वी आर अंडर प्रोसेस. तो फ्रॉम 1st May onwards it will be implemented pan-India और वे अहेड. तो यहाँ पर मैं स्पेसिफिकली लिखा अंडर कंसिडरेशन एंड इट इज अंडर डिस्कशन phase wise implementation of mandatory silver hallmarking starting with districts having ANCs. तो जैसा आपको बताया कि हमारा सिल्वर का हॉलमार्किंग का प्लेटफॉर्म इज देयर, ठीक है. वी हैव सेंटर्स व्हिच आर have capability of testing silver. Then अभी सिल्वर को भी HOID बना दिया, तो this making mandatory silver hallmarking is under consideration. Then second point which is under consideration is phase wise implementation of transfer HOID. तो जब भी कोई ज्वेलर सेंटर से हॉलमार्क करवाता है, उसके बाद अगर वो दूसरे ज्वेलर को ट्रांसफर करता है, सेकेंड देन थर्ड ज्वेलर से अगर कंज्यूमर लेता है, तो दैट ट्रेसेबिलिटी शुड आल्सो गेट रिफ्लेक्टेड थ्रू द BIS केयर ऐप कि कौन सा ज्वेलर के पास अभी ये आर्टिकल है. So that transfer HOID provision is also under discussion. So that is all. Any questions? No questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that excellent presentation. Your detailed explanation of the recent developments in hallmarking has enhanced our understanding of its importance in ensuring transparency and protecting consumer interests. We sincerely appreciate you for sharing your expertise with us. Moving ahead, we now come to the next session on future of standardization. For this session, I would like to invite Sri Shvam Agrawal sir, Scientist D, Bureau of Indian Standards, to kindly share his perspectives on the future of standardization.
So good afternoon, everyone. I am Shivam Agrawal, scientist D, currently posted at National Engineering Laboratory. So the speakers before me, they have informed about certification and the hallmarking activity. The certification and the hallmarking that is done against a standard, against a set of or well-defined quality parameters. And that particular activity is known as standardization. And BIS, being the National Standards Body of India, the standards developed by BIS are known as Indian standards. So I'll be taking you through the standardization activity that is being followed with BIS. और जो स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एक्टिविटी है बीआईएस की वो हमारे हेडक्वार्टर में दिल्ली में ही होती है हमारे सर्टिफिकेशन और हॉलमार्किंग एक्टिविटी के लिए वी हैव डिफरेंट ब्रांच बट स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एक्टिविटी इज carried out at our headquarters. So this is a brief about BIS. BIS was established in 1947. Here it was known as Standards Institution ISI, and the name was changed to Bureau of Indian Standards by BIS Act 1987. By BIS Act 2016, BIS became the National Standards Body of India, and it is one of the largest national standards bodies of India. And BIS represents India at ISO and ICE. These are international forums for standardization. So this is the mandate of BIS. BIS establishes national standards, like I mentioned before, and undertake conformity assessment like ISI mark, registration mark, hallmark, and management system. BIS establishes, maintain, and recognize laboratories for testing, undertake certification for foreign manufacturers as well, enable mandatory certification of key products as and when a product is mandated by Government of India. If it comes under the QCO, then it helps government in implementing the quality parameters of QCOs. It strengthens consumer protection and enforces the use of standard marks. So these are some of the statistics. More than 23,000 standards have been published by BIS with the involvement of more than 14,000 experts. Government of India has issued 136 technical regulations or QCOs covering 639 products under the ambit of mandatory certification. More than 52,000 domestic licenses have been granted by BIS across the country and covering more than 1,400 standards. Under registration scheme of BIS, more than 26,000 registrations have been granted for products mainly related to electronics IT and related to solar, like solar panels and solar cells. So for standardization, these are some of the stakeholders that are involved in the formulation of a standard. This includes technologists, scientists, and professionals, members from industries and industry associations, government and policy makers, people from academia, consumer organizations, testing laboratories, other accreditation agencies, and various SDOs. SDOs are standard development organizations such as RDSO and other organizations which are developing their own. So how are standards formed? Basically, all the stakeholders that I have mentioned previously are a part of the technical committee, and there are 17 division councils in BIS. Under each division council, there are various technical committees which are responsible for formulation of the standards for that particular subject. So the process is consultative and a consensus approach is followed. And all the drafts and the technical parameters they are shared with the committee members and on our BIS website for public commenting as well. So this is a general process flow of how the standards are formulated. Whenever a new work item is received, it goes to the particular committee for the approval of the subject along with the working draft. The working draft is then reviewed in the committee, and if there are some comments on it, they are resolved. They are then circulated as a preliminary draft. Again, the comments are invited from the committee members. Once these comments are resolved, this particular draft becomes a wide circulation draft and it is hosted on BIS website. When it is hosted on BIS website, anyone, maybe from industry, academia,
anyone can comment on the wide circulation draft. Once the comments are received, these uh, these comments are taken up in the committee meeting. These comments are resolved. If needed, the draft may again be put up on their website for wide circulation. And once all the comments are resolved, a final draft is prepared, and after editing, it is published in the Gazette of India as a national set. So, like I informed, there are 17 division councils in BIS. I'll show you the names of that. And there are 420 sectional committees, more than 2,800 panels and working groups. And it is uh, always tried that the committee composition is balanced so that we have the members from across the stakeholders, including academia, industries, and labs. So these are 17 division councils like civil engineering, chemical, electrotechnology. The latest division council that was formed in BIS was related to environment and ecology. And like this, there are, and one more which was formed recently was Ayush Division Council. So each division council has a definite scope, and the division council works under the ambit of that scope only. So to share one of the example of division council scope is like electronics and IT. So the electronics and IT division council it works under for the standardization in the field of electronics and IT, including information and communication business. So like this, all the 17 division councils have their predefined scope, and if there are if some due to some technological advancement, some changes are required to be to enhance the scope, the same can be done. Then the life cycle of standards. The standards, once formulated, it is not that they are rigid; they are dynamic in nature. They can be reviewed or they can be amended and changed. So each standard has to be reviewed at least once in a 5 years. It can be done prior to that as well, based on whether we receive any comments or if there is any technical advancement. So whenever the standard is reviewed, if there are no changes, then the standard is reaffirmed as such. Or there are four different possibilities, like an amendment can be issued to a standard, or the standard can be revised. The standard may be withdrawn if it is no longer required, and the standard may be archived so that it can be put aside and it will be taken up for revision when some comments are received from it. These are different types of standards like product specification, method of test, code of practices, basic standards, terminology, sampling, systems, and service standards. So service standard is one of the new area in which BIS is now formulating the standard. Some important standards which are important from consumer point of view and industry point of view, they are posted on our website, and it is like category wise list is given to name some like construction material, electrical appliances, road safety. So even from a consumer point of view or an academia point of view, one can access the list of these standards. To give an example, some of the important standards related to construction materials are like OPC, ordinary Portland cement, PVC, white cement, composite cement, steel bar, structural bar. So these are some of the basic and important standards which are important from the construction point of view. Similarly, from electronics point of view, some of them are like IS 616, which is a mandatory standard under the registration scheme of mic, loudspeakers, headphone, mobile chargers, CCTV cameras. So these are the various levels of organizations. So at international levels, we have international bodies like ISO, IC, and IC. And there are some bodies and UN framework like ILO, Codex, etc. At regional level, like at European level, we have SENS and at African level, we have ARSO. At South Asian level, we have SARSO. And at national level, we have national standards bodies like BIS from India, not from France, JISC, DIN from Germany, BSI from Britain, and other national government bodies as well. BIS represents in international bodies ISO and IC, and there is a department of telecommunication DOT which represents India at IT. So at ISO and IC level, BIS is holding 14 secretariats. 3 of them have been recently allotted to BIS. The three which have been recently allotted are first on Ayurveda and Yoga, second on basis for designs of structures, and third is non-systematic contraceptives and STI barrier prophylaxis. So this is the list of all the 14 secretariats that are held by BIS at international standardization organization level. And BIS is now moving towards smart standards. Smart standards are basically standards which are machine readable uh, and transferable. So smart standards basically, whenever you make a standard, you make it in such a way that machines can easily read those and can work accordingly on that. So this is the BI strategy for moving towards smart standards, XML conversion of Indian standards, then collaborative tool for drafting standards, and a new standard portal has been formulated by BIS, and an OSD platform which is there in which which is online standards development for module is there where one can easily add it or give their comments on the standard. So smart standards, these are standardized digital formats for data exchange and processing, and the digital platforms and tools for authoring, editing, and managing the site. These are some of the key initiatives that have been taken by BIS recently in last 3 to 4 years. First is involving academia in the national standardization. Like one of my previous speaker has informed about the standard club, the school, and the institute. Then creating standard ready workforce, like having MOU with the technical institution, strengthening infrastructure in institutes, enhancing footprint in international standardization by adopting international standards by participating in the ISO IC meetings, and then dissemination of information related to standardization through various social media and YouTube channels. So this was all from my side for Shrinjal. Yeah. Questions basically. First one is that how to be part of this working group? If somebody wants to part of a working group, like I'm from Reliance, and we are part of ASME, American Societies working groups, and others also. So if we want to, based on our experience, if we want to give it feedback, or we have to make an amendments or provide any inputs for the standards. So how do we enroll this? So first thing, to become a part of any sectional committee or working group of panel, it is an online procedure. We go to manakonline.in, there's a tab of standards, and whenever you click, there is a tab to become a part of the section committee. So you have to click on that, you have to submit your details. What is the name you said? Manakonline.in. And second question is that, as you rightly said, as per QCO, I think 2019 was a mandatory products were added to have a mandatory license path. Like the ASM materials will also have the equivalent I standard. So girl certification was added. But some of the grades like duplex stainless steel and those are not yet issued any I standard. So are those are in planning to get it under free? So for a particular subject that there are, like I informed, there are 17 division councils in BIS and there are technical committees. So for a particular subject, that particular section committee or that division council would be in a position to inform whether that is being taken up or not. But as a stakeholder, you can always give your comments. You can always provide your reports that this grade is missing, and this can be added along with a reference of any international standard that can be referred by the technical and like the procedure would remain same. If the committee accepts it, then it will be wide circulated and there are no comments or if it is accepted by the committee. Then if the amendment may be issued, then the standard may be. So, thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for that enlightening presentation. Your insights into the future of standardization have given us a broader perspective on upcoming trends and innovations in this field. It was truly an engaging and thought-provoking session. As we move forward of today's program, move towards the conclusion of today's program, I would now like to request Dr. Anil Kapti sir, Scientist E and Head, Western Regional Lab, Bureau of Indian Standards, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, I request you to please take seat.
So, good afternoon, everyone. It is my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion of World Consumer Rights Day 2026. At the outset, I extend my sincere gratitude to our esteemed dignitaries for gracing this event with their presence and sharing their valuable insights. I am deeply thankful to Sri V. Gopinath sir, DDG Western Region, for his inspiring inaugural address, and to Sri Pinaki Gupta sir, Head Mumbai Branch Office, for his welcome address, which set the tone for today's event. I would also like to express our heartfelt appreciation to our distinguished guests of honor, Sri Swapnil S. Kothari and Professor Amol Dev Chauhan, for their insightful addresses and valuable perspectives on consumer rights and fair practices. I also extend my appreciation to our speakers from BIS, Sri Anurag, Sri Ashish Wakle, and Sri Shivam Agrawal, for their informative and engaging technical sessions with which added immense value to the program today. I would like to thank all participants for their active involvement and keen interest, which made this event truly interactive and successful. My appreciation also goes to the organizing team, the media, the venue managing officials at Bharat Ratnam, and all those working behind the scenes whose dedicated efforts ensured the smooth conduct of this program today. Finally, I thank each one of you for being part of this important occasion and contributing towards promoting consumer awareness and reflection. So with that, I conclude the session and invite you all to join us for lunch, just downstairs at the fifth floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.